factor, right? Cooler is such a legend in the game, not only in Quake Champions, but Quake as a legacy.
Yeah.
You know, but Saigeb, I feel like he's not going to psych himself out too much, and in many ways, he can't afford to even remotely go there.
He still has good LAN experience. He's still been there. He's still been around for a long time. He's been playing for a decent amount of time. And as I've said earlier in the tournament, I regard him as one of the most mechanically gifted players in North America. If he can get those fights to be opened up and he's not chasing a Cooler who's hitting those defensive rockets, then absolutely he can take advantage. But people sometimes underestimate how good Cooler's aim can be with the lightning gun, with the rail. This isn't 2010 anymore. Cooler's aim with hit scan is very, very strong at the moment. So make sure that you're playing the rest of the ABC game accordingly so that you've got that control, you've got that entry damage, and you're able to push him around the way that you want to.
But I think into the terms of the champion picks too, the champion section seemed pretty as expected. Nothing really picked seems to strike us as a curveball, especially going into map number 1, which looks a little bit, we've seen this and we know what to expect. Loading into map number 1, Cooler versus Saigeb. One of these players is going into the semi-finals. Let's get it started.
Let's do it indeed, Ketchup. We got Cooler up on screen first. He's managed to get himself the heavy armor over to the rockets. Might want a little bait onto that weapon, but I don't think Saigeb's going to be falling into any traps anytime soon. He has got the lightning gun, he has got the heavy machine gun. And Cooler quite quickly wants to get the HMG. It's such an important weapon on this map. At the moment, he's just been going for pot shots with the super shotgun. We've got dual wield. Cooler having to back away a little bit, but he's done good damage with the HMG. Will secure himself this mega health. Saigeb can return to the heavy. And that's not a terrible exchange for Cooler.
I mean, ultimately, it just came down to how much damage he peppered out when Saigeb popped that dual wield. You know, Saigeb specifically left the heavy to go so he could try and get some damage and retreat back. However, here comes a bit of a ranged fight, finally dropping the totem to get back in business, but Saigeb still manages to just delete that health bar, even with the totem in play. That was some crazy heavy machine gun.
And again, I was talking about don't underestimate Cooler. Definitely don't underestimate Saigeb if you are Cooler. There's going to be the mega health. Going to the American on stage. There is a totem for him to get rid of over at LG, but he's not paid attention to that just yet. Cooler outstacking him, but we do have dual wield available. Oh, the setup rocket going with the lightning gun. Can't quite push him into the corner. Saigeb is the one who is weaker, so probably looking for an exit route at the moment.
He is going to find that escape route nicely. Dual wield just covering his bases just in case. Here comes some LG coming out. Cooler being nice and aggressive. Heavy is about to spawn. Saigeb does a double back to try and get some damage. Yeah, to take out some of those totems. Really optimize the use of time. But now, going by rockets now. Saigeb looking to potentially get something on deck. Cooler was able to at least be in position before, getting at least a couple of shots through on Saigeb, but not a lot of damage. Some LG peppers down. And now Cooler with no armor has to watch out. Saigeb doing some of that damage. Thankfully, the passive kicks in. Not enough to really be significant for this health bubbles anyway, so what does it matter?
Yeah, he's got to watch out for 2 days. He can't go through the teleporter. He's not in a terrible position. The mega health is going to be up. He's going to drop down for it. Shotgun to watch out for. Oh, that HMG damage. Looking for the damage through the grates, but won't find it. Cooler's going to survive a little longer and start to pick up those health bubbles. Saigeb has to have a little more respect at the moment with low ammo and mediocre health.
Yeah, that one exchange that took place near Mega, it was pretty much one rocket short of being able to completely seal the deal. Dual wield tri-bolt once again just to spam and keep away. However, Saigeb has to be very mindful of his own stack, and it's going to get taken away happily. Cooler making things 1-1. And Saigeb trying to push as hard as he can, but a good spawn.
Whoa. But
even better for Saigeb, who answers back with the SSG. And he has to try and restack the kill.
You have to be very aware of how powerful someone off the spawn can be with the super shotgun. It does an incredible amount of damage in that close range. I am nervous for Saigeb still because he has a lot of totems to go up against. He should start seeing the colors, but he's only taken down one. There's still another sitting there.
Dual wield on deck. He is going to pull the trigger on it now just to try and force away and collect the Mega. Must be able to do it so far, and Heavy's been the next objective. Unfortunately, face checks the totem. There's a second one coming around here too, just to delete real quick.
Yeah, it's got rid of a whole bunch of them, so he might have taken 40 damage, but I'd still say that's worth it to get rid of this infrastructure that Cooler has. The nails, he's switching to all kinds of weapons, hitting lots of rockets and still locking down the kill. Not left with much health. That seems to be really the trend that we've seen in this match.
Pretty disapproving head shake coming out from Saigeb after that as well. A bit of a strange exchange. Jumping down in Mega and Cooler can't challenge. SSG switch as well. will take that frag pretty easily there for Saigib and heavy up. He's got a very comfortable rotation of these pickups now. So trains rocket, aims for it, but neither player quite able to hit the mark. Cooler, oh, if you look at his wounds, that's yeah, bit of a small fumble there from Saigib, unfortunately. Going to take some time to allow Cooler to reconvene and pick up some of that stack. Gets a good rocket, but it needs a little bit more damage. Cooler able to escape, but with what cost?
Wow.
It's going to be the front. Frag instead, that much.
Very on point, quick thinking from Saigib. His weapon switches have actually been incredible. He's been so concise with all of it. In with the dual wield, managing to secure himself this heavy armor. The double super shotguns, taking down one more.
At that point, I'd say name a more iconic duo. Another Spore from SSG to blast Cooler away. 7-1, and we're not even 5 minutes in. This is a very, very excellent start.
Yeah, summarize what's going on at the moment, because right now Saigib is going absolutely ham. 8-1.
Getting some good cycles on the respawns now too. Going to be an SSG start though. Saigib trying to be really mindful of these rockets. Dual Wield gets popped again. Cooler into the belly of the beast. The SSG again. Just absolutely annihilating. And right now, this is a super rush. Here comes the rockets now. Saigib has to be mindful of his own stack. Even with the passive, it's still 50-50. That's not a huge amount.
His control has been brilliant. It's been amazing to watch. He's got to look out for the nails. Cooler's taking a lot of damage into the shotgun one more time. This time won't work. The range was just a little too far. Cooler, fairly weak. Heavy will be up in a couple of seconds. Saigib looking for damage on the exit of the teleporter. Cooler was the totem up soon. He should be in a position now to get his own spree of control and maybe start to accumulate some kills.
Fortunately, Nail Golem has plenty of ways to replenish, so Saigib looking for that magical rocket. It's a little bit of damage, making things quite even. The totem has been dropped to full back. Mega's about to spawn. Who's going to be into the punch? Saigib in and out. It's going to be enough to win a fight, though. Cooler making the chase, was shut down by a defensive rocket. Good shot there from Saigib. Should be enough time for the small items to kind of respawn back in Nail Golem if he needs be, but once more, the dual super shotgun seems to be the magical answer so far. 10-2. This is looking kind of one-sided at this stage. Saigib is just absolutely picking the right fights, looking for more rocket damage. Cooler's able to finally seize that one.
He's got to watch out because he went a bit too far forward then. Saigib's been aggressive and he's been strong with it, but on this occasion I think that's pushing it too far. You've got a strong lead. Try and kill at least 2 minutes now without allowing Cooler to get up to 5. And then you can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, securing yourself a victory. Right now, Cooler's starting to make a bit of a comeback. You don't want to start getting nervous at minute 7 and a half.
And there's a real possibility now for Saigib to just take some of that time to gather some weaponry. And Mega is just about to spawn. I wonder if he is going to be in position to fight for it or whether he's going to concede. Looks like now he's going to give up Mega. And it is coming down into that, actually taking the time out. Has got a bunch of weapons, but the LG's looking good from Cooler. Absolutely takes out Saigib, making it 10-5, and gets a wonderful spawn in Nailgun. Fighting back. At this stage, actually, Cooler's taking quite a lot of damage. Thankfully, heavy armor and totem has just become online again. So Saigib's in a bit of a good position. He has to try and keep up and run away as much as possible. Gonna get probably head off here by Cooler, who's looking to chase this one down. Starve him at all, if possible. And with that Mega about to spawn, looks like Cooler's in a good position to take it again. Saigib doesn't have the stack to challenge it, really.
There's a light. Oh, Saigib's gone towards it. That's exactly what Cooler was hoping for. He's bringing it back. One step at a time. Saigib's just got to slow this down to snail's pace. It's so much easier said than done. He's got to find 1 or 2 weapons that he's comfortable with. This rocket slows Cooler down, but seriously not enough just yet. He's running past totems to get extra health. Shotgun to blast him back down, but Saigib is left with 1 point of health.
The chance to escape can't leak now as Cooler takes another major pickup. Heavy's about to spawn, and if Saigib tries to challenge, it's basically a suicide mission at this point. Trying to get any damage he can, but Cooler, he wants more. It's not just about the Heavy, but he pushes a little bit too hard and actually dies for it. Cooler trying to be aggressive, take the frag, and then double back and get the Heavy. Unfortunately, Saigib was way too ready on it. Good spawn for Cooler, having LG at the very least, but he is kind of stuck in no man's land versus a dual-wielding LG. The swap to the super shotgun for another time.
How many kills has he had with the super shotgun? I feel like it's more than half of his frags are with that weapon. It's been such great switches from him with every single weapon. Incredible level that we're getting from Saigib, as there was a bit of a comeback happening from Cooler, but it's been shut down. We're now sub-minute and a half away from seeing Saigib take a map away from Cooler. Who'd have thunk it?
He's looking for more of those rockets, and it should be good. Even with the Mega about to spawn, Cooler can't really challenge for this unless he's going to lose his life for it. This should be a pretty free frag as well. Cooler with nowhere to run, but he's getting some wonderful heavy machine gun. Hang on a second. I kind of half feel like maybe Saigib was looking at that and thinking, nah, I'll be all right. Wow. Okay.
All right. Cooler getting himself a little bit more on the board. 6 in 50 seconds. You're looking to be record pace at the moment.
And at this point, Saigib's just going to straight up run away from him. Any second wasted is a lifetime.
Yeah.
You've got this little time left to make up for. 13 to 7 at this stage. Yeah, he's got the Mega, but that's because Saigib wants him to take it. He doesn't care. As long as he's nowhere near Saigib, it's fine.
30 seconds. Saigib's count again. Dual wield. Oh my god, there's rockets from Saigib! What was going on there?
Even Saigib himself can't help but crack a smile at that one.
You never see the Mafia boss smile. He's ecstatic with that. And he absolutely should be. Saigib, is this the beginning of something special? What a performance here on Corrupted Keep catch up.
If anything, it's just pure momentum that you can carry into future maps to come. Looking to get another bonus frag on Cooler, which is able to pick up 16 to 7. That is a pretty convincing way to kickstart this Cooler fight.
That was absolutely unreal from Saigib. You know, we look at the stats on paper, we look at these two characters going against one another. We've got someone of such history going up against someone who's now looking to make history.
History in the making, my friend.
This is an unbelievable start, but we've seen some starts before. This is very different, but it reminds me of Genic versus Dahang, having a great beginning, winning on Corrupted Keep, funnily enough. But it's how can you go on from there? I think that Saigib is better enough that he is going to be able to hold his nerves together, but he has to be able to keep on pushing, digging deep. How much further can he go? And we've got, of course, a plethora of replays for us to look at.
Most of which will probably involve the Super Shot in some capacity.
Yes, definitely.
But it's testament to how each map can offer really a different way of handling combat. You know, on Corrupted Keep, the Super Shotgun really seems to be almost like the most devastating weapon that you can sometimes find on a map like this, because it just gives you real presence. You're so used to having certain spawns, and we saw it in motion actually throughout this map. Situations where it's like, okay, I've caught him on the spawn, I'm fine. But if you so happen to spawn right next to an SSG, you have to show it the utmost respect, because the amount of damage output in a short space of time on a map where being close range is almost guaranteed most of the time. Something to definitely worry about. The Saigib looking in absolute top form in the first map. There's a lot to keep going through though as we go into more maps. Yeah, this was the moment. Juggle, juggle, juggle.
Oh my god. I mean, I don't know if they're air rockets or not because you had the wall next to it, but what does it matter? It was like triple in the air or so.
And the rest of the frags you saw there, just bonus frags really. We're looking into the next map now. What does this spell for Coolers?
So, I wanted to ask you a question.
Ask me.
You think
there's always the potential, because you know, if you're someone like Cooler, and again, really to throw back, I'm pretty sure these players haven't really gone head-to-head with the exception of Breakpoint, where everyone had to fight. For all we know, that might have been the first time they properly played Cooler. Cooler is kind of, it's very simple for Cooler to kind of just do his thing against most players and mosey on by from that point, because he just has this efficient, slow and steady wins the race. You know, where he's not afraid to just play at his own pace, choke you out massively with all the different pickups. But Saigib, he's been on such a fast climb recently, and I think this is probably some of the best shape I think we've ever seen from him.
And I've got to say that map is also amazingly good for Cooler, so the fact that you won like that is very big. Anyway, we have moved into the next map, guys. It's Saigib versus Cooler. We've got Saigib with the Athena, Cooler with the Visor. Have we got any more twists in this tale? As we see Cooler on his Visor, he's got himself a mega health, getting a few weapons. Looks like Rail was not far away, taking a bit of rocket damage.
I mean, we've all seen the usefulness of Visor and that extra element of vision on such a rail-heavy map such as this does really go a long way. Athena, very much, I think, a high-risk, high-reward champion. Saigib has demonstrated previously that he obviously knows a thing or two about this champion, but she's very much a glass cannon. You know, at the cost of some of the best mobility you'll ever get, she is extremely squishy. Even if you have that wonderful mobility, you know, one amazing rail-happy player, and she gets shut down constantly. So it's really going to be, I think, in Saigib's court to be as careful as possible, to not give up anything too free. But, you know, at the cost of having to be extra careful, he's going to have that variety of kind of going wherever he wants at rocket pace.
That's why, as much as Athena can do some impressive things, when we've seen her in the Pro League, oh, hold on a second, we've got to fight up at the rocket. Psychic going to look to try and get away. He's got 1 health left. He zips out of there. Has he got any further way of escape? He's managed to get a light armor or health bubble. Looking to get down the bottom, but he's only on a couple of points of health. Up the LG staircase. There's the rocket jump. Saigev still nearby, but Cooler, little trap. He knows what he's up to. There he is, trying to get 1 rocket, a shotgun. Oh my god, he almost lost out on that with 1 more shotgun blast. Cooler still gets the first blood though.
Fundamentally, all that matters is that Cooler was able to seal that frag, because if he lost that, if anything, that's just a knock in the face. That says that Cooler did everything right. He just needed to get 1 hit, missed a couple of rockets. And if those shotgun blasts connected, then that would have been one of the most impressive turnarounds we've seen. However, going in with the rails, really trying to use those pillars to his advantage to block off as many shots as physically possible. Tribal is peppering down. Gonna tickle Cooler at this stage. Not really anything to worry about just yet. The next objective very well could be that heavy, as it's 5 seconds away from spawning. Saigev is heading him off, but he's very weak indeed. Cooler with the pickups, very, very easy to collect. And now fresh off the spawn, what's the play?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, for me, I wanted to say earlier, we haven't seen Athena really at that top level in Quake Pro League yet, which makes me feel like Cooler does have a big advantage on the champion picks on Blood Covenant. But that means that we're open to get more information. Athena isn't the most picked. Let's see if Saigev can surprise us. 2.5 minutes in, it is about Cooler, but there's plenty of time for control to change.
There's always the opportunity for throw us a little curveball. It's always nice to see variety in this kind of setting, but Cooler going in with that consistency so far, working out for him with a short 3 minutes in. This Spies has been putting in so much work. Jump pad gets a little bit of a faulty rocket.
Whoa.
Not quite hit the angle. Looks like Saigev, is he going to be aggressive on this? Maybe not so much after those rockets connect. 2 magic shots and Saigev's finished off.
He has a great downward vertical hook play. He was starting to land some rockets, but then it was all about Cooler stringing his shots together. The thing is, if Athena can get control, she can get around the map so quickly. Cooler's always got to be on his toes.
That piercing sight, meaning that at the very least, Cooler can fortify towards Mega and collect it. That initial missed rail means it's going to be a little bit easier, just weighing out, and wow, tricky little swap to rail, landing a shot he needs to. Saigev's in a bad shot, should be another frag by all means. Saigev backing himself into a corner, trying to collect that light armor. Can we get a spawn? Not quite. Good shot, once again shutting him down, and fresh off the spawn, Saigev's not going to have a lot besides maybe a rocket launcher. That might have changed as we go near rail, but even then Saigev has to use that grappling hook to get in and out.
Spotted, piercing sight. Saigev should have read that it was used then. Cooler managing his stack flawlessly. I see no mistakes at the moment coming out from Cooler. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. Saigev though, weak yet again. He's got a hook left on him. Of course, guys, works on the charge basis, if you're not familiar. You can get 3 when you have your cooldown fully returned. So there's the heavy pickup again from Cooler. Swing a fire over towards the Mega Health. Saiger's got to find a way out. Does land a tasty rocket, but he still doesn't have enough fuel in the tank to hang around. And he's missing rails like this. He needs to hit these shots to slow down Cooler, because from it, he's still on the hunt. There's no anxiety about it.
That piercing sight's going to give us even more information. And it's just allowing such a crazy level of control here. I feel like Saigev, the only time he's really, realistically been able to collect anything has been when there's been a split, when Cooler's too busy taking something else that he deems more important. Another rail, even without piercing sight, Cooler's been hitting some fantastic shots, and it's just constantly keeping Saigev playing from behind. And when you are playing, by all means, a glass cannon champion, and you're having to constantly play from behind when someone's having like really stacked. I'm not realistically sure what the options would be at this level. Because look, Cooler sees you, he spots you, you take massive damage. You try to retreat, but your stack will only go so high because you're one of the light champions.
Very curious about Cooler item stats at the end. His control has been second to none. That's what Cooler is all about most of the time. Saiger's going to back out there. He should be able to get himself onto the Mega Health just about. Cooler misses his shots. This is possibly the opening that Saiger's looking for, but he has to start executing. He'll back away. There's a light. There'll be rail. He can get onto those weapons. It's not too late. As long as he can get that control fully away from Cooler by minute 7, and he can start laying down the pressure where Cooler is scrambling for light armors, there's time for a comeback.
but that time becomes dangerously less as every minute passes. So Saigib, he's got this stack now, but realistically, he has to do something with it. But as long as Cooler is hitting shots like that, the rockets that hit as meaty as they do, it just becomes almost impossible for Saigib. At this point, this will be another pickup. The rockets have just been an absolute pain in the backside for Saigib so far. 6-0, and that lead is only looking to climb further and further. Saigib, without any armor, has to be really careful down here. He's trying to pepper down to fight for the heavy at the very least, but I think Cooler, if anything, is just trying to get some of that free damage. You know, retreat back, play it cool again, wait for Saigib to reappear, and so far I just feel like Cooler, it's almost like he's just been playing a game of just constantly picking up the items and shooting Saigib if he's nearby, but he doesn't really seem to be fearing him at all.
It's shooting him so that Saigib can't even properly challenge for the item. There's been few instances where Saigib has been able to go to a major item and think, yeah, you know what, I've got a second. I got a second to think and not be under pressure. Cooler taking a moment. He knows he's got a second.
But that's it, it's another minute lost. And while Saigib's running around trying to re-establish something that resembles control, Cooler gets some of those 3 minutes. The combo is real! That one hurt so much. Looking for a rail. And even if the rail missed, realistically, do we think Saigib can get away? Tries to spring a trap. Can't quite get the frag he's looking for because once more Cooler's stack, it's just far too extreme. Shoots the entry rocket, but nothing. I'm just constantly eyeing up that clock now. The longer Cooler goes unchallenged, and every second passes, it just becomes a nightmare for Saigib to try and get back up on. Tri-bolt, just a pepper. Threw Saigib off his airborne momentum a little bit too, sending him a little bit too far forward, and I think he's comfortable with.
Full rocket jumps here and there sometimes. Oh, hello. There's a swing on by. Saigib's managed to keep some overstack for a short period.
Hits the shot, and that's been the common story. Saigib looks like he has an opportunity to try and get some damage, but by doing so puts himself right in the line of sight of Cooler, who doesn't fail to miss ever. And now less than 2 minutes left. Cooler just seems to simply keep doing what he's doing at this stage, and Saigib, I really feel like unfortunately this Athena pick, it's just too light. Yeah. Right, the stack just isn't there. He's constantly playing with less HP and armor, and when a fight finally happens, he just doesn't have the advantage in any way or shape or form.
I feel like Cooler's been more lively hitting shots too. Oh yeah, he's been able to apply pressure at the HMG with the rail a lot more than Saigib's been doing that. Saigib had a fantastic map one, but it's not been able to translate over to Blood Covenant for the time being. There's going to be rockets, there's going to be another kill, and Cooler going to be feeling better and better, and soon memories of Corrupted Keep will be fading away from him as we stare down and Awoken. They'll be taking place next.
More close range action. Saigib trying to get at least one frag at this stage. I think if anything, you're just looking for a bonus frag at this point, aren't you? But this time it's a trade.
Got something there.
Half count. In half.
Hey, the numbers on the board.
Yes, it is. But I mean, what to really reflect from this is when Cooler's currently online. This was just a game of Cooler rotating items pretty much from start to finish. At no point did it feel like Saigib had control. At no point did it feel like he was even able to challenge Cooler's stack. Even now, you know, Cooler, he's got the armor. And the armor in this kind of exchange is what really is going to work, because he's going to get this guaranteed shot now. Just needs to run away. Who even needs a frag at this point? It's game over. Absolutely.
Again, hard to criticize Cooler at all. There's just no point. His control has been amazing. The pressure with his aim has been phenomenal. And he always seems to know what Saigib wants to be achieving. I mean, we're looking at that rail to rocket combos that we're seeing for the whole full 190 and 190 damage to a stacked Athena. I mean, it's see you later stack. Oh. Okay, last couple of seconds Saigib get a pretty tasty frag, but overall a convincing victory we've seen from Cooler.
Yeah, those two frags at the last minute almost strike me as Cooler not really worrying if he's out of position in any way, because he knows he has it in the bag. You know, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. That map was going to be finished, and from the absolute beginning until the very end, this was the Cooler show, and Saigib simply having to just play in a map that Cooler happens to be running around in and collecting all the items.
Yeah, Cooler feeling more than comfortable. And he's not the type of person to be holding grudges from a map that he's lost. He's forgotten, he's continued. We're soon going to have to start thinking about what the next map is going to be spelling for us. But for Saigib to improve, I genuinely think just the way he's applying pressure. If he's able to string together a couple more shots to make Cooler feel a little less confident about pushing in on him, I think that can help him to no end, which is strange considering the praise I give Saigib normally for his mechanical skills. It just seemed to be just a little flat during the map. It's a best of 5. There's a long way to go. He can rectify that.
time for true love. If you find it, do you have what it takes to conduct and keep it? Having you was a gift, as much as it was a curse. A burden that now has run its course. You are completely broken. When you start to the right eyes, everything I love to it all. Did I always say the right thing's wrong? Oh, crashes I had left unanswered. Do good things ever come to those who wait? Or do they just wait forever? Sometimes you need to pause life and get out to check if you're on the right train. I guess that's what you did when the fat lady finally sang. The worst part was not to lose true love. The worst part was to lose my best friend. What do you understand? When you have the back control, and you forever been the one that got away. Did I always say the right thing's wrong? Oh, crashes I had left unanswered. Do good things ever come to those who wait? Or do they just wait forever?
But at least a strategy which is strong on the map to play defensively versus the less mobile Keel.
And we've all seen what happens when CIS players get their hands on Blood Run.
Indeed.
But we're going into this map now. Saigib with the Keel pick. He's going to have significantly more potential for the damage output. But I really feel like Nyx and the Ghost Walk combined, it's just going to be quite a potential for things to be a bit troublesome. If that Ghost Walk is out and Cooler gets caught out of position, those grenades at close range will absolutely melt her health away being a light champion. But he has to be in that position first. Something Cooler's pretty famous for is keeping himself out of harm's way. It's what makes him so frustrating to play against. Ooh, good rail though. Opening up something Saigib now to finish it. Coming back, Keel with that large hitbox. Pretty easy to just really dish out any damage to. He has one of the larger hitboxes of any champion in the game, so Cooler, I don't see him missing anytime soon.
A bit of light. See, armor is the biggest priority, but chronologically we've got the Mega coming up. Gonna look at some stray damage. Cooler does manage to deflect some of it with his own. No rail on that exit. Is there a Ghost Walk push to the top of it?
Looks like Cooler was sitting there waiting in case. Plan to potentially sit there for when it spawns. Mega It's going to appear very, very soon indeed. Looks like Cooler's setting up shop temporarily, but we'll see. Those grenades constantly being used here. Push down, fire close range. Ghost Walk is available if he needs it, and he has deemed it important. Not before he gets in and out with all the important mega health at a split second. Cooler with the precision timing. That nearly went pear-shaped.
Oh god, he's got the LG on him, has got any extra resources, we've got the light armor taken, but that is going to be the first blood to Saigib. Absolutely massive. Is he able to get a bit more? He's trying to get himself on the health, so Cooler misses the jump across. Saigib's not going to be quite available with this 25, but he's still in a dangerous position. However, Cooler, no Ghost Walk. Still has to watch out a little bit. 5 seconds till the heavy. There's going to be the push. But that is still going to be the frag for Cooler, who's going to take back control of Blood Run.
There was that last-ditch effort to swap to the super shotgun, but just half second, a little bit too early was he fragged and no opportunity to fire. And these rails just coming through and putting the pressure on. Now, if you're able to put pressure on someone like Keel, yes, he's got crazy damage. The problem is he's definitely not one of the fastest champions, and he's much easier to hit. So if Saigib's trying to survive over the course of this map, while he's one of the easier champions to actually connect hits on, kind of like that, you know, through the smoke. Necessary just to get through. Cooler with a massive stack. Fresh off the spawn, a terrible position for Saigib. Finished off by the shotgun, and that's just a free frag by every definition.
Okay, not a bad rel. Forcing Ghost Walk out. As I said, getting a lead for Cooler is very dangerous for Saigib just because of chasing can become an issue for him. But Saigib's decided that he wants to hit everything.
But what also connected was a juicy rocket. So if Cooler's able to disengage for long enough and survive, we might see that add up a little bit. It did force Saigib to retreat, but Cooler getting the perfect play and the perfect prediction, knowing he's going down the jump pad and just reacting accordingly when he jumps down. Once again, he's knocking off. Very important rocket to knock Saigib away from the heavy. If Cooler can come off better in this fight, he's going to be rewarded with a massive advantage. Looks like Saigib, is he going to dedicate? I think he thought about it, but I don't think he's going to fully dedicate to it just yet. A nice delay. He is going to get a heavy, but he's pretty weak. Has to get some of those small health bubbles. Looks like he went down near the ramp section to get the 2. And mega spawning as well. But Cooler with this, you know, I want a blood run, I'll say. It's a sizable drag. Doesn't bring us overextend too much. Can play quite safe if he wants. Saigib has a wonderful stack though.
Saigib has control. So he's done step 1. Can he catch out Cooler? He can't let Cooler extend the lead anymore, but that's not really the question at the moment. Cooler to turn this around will have to do quite a lot, and I think he's more concerned about just staying alive, holding this sort of secret nail position, and knowing that if he hears those sound cues, he's probably going to have an escape route of some sort. And already I think that Saigib, between items, has to be chasing quite hard to find where Cooler's going to be.
There's also the factor of Ghost Walk. You know, picking next on a map like this, very intelligent from Cooler because he knows he can play this snail's pace game. And then the moment it's, okay, I think I've actually been caught out of position here, it's a bad situation. She has got that instant Ghost Walk effect to get out of harm's way for free, really. And that just goes hand in hand with Blood Run in a style like Cooler's slow pace of, I'm going to just sit down and allow him to maintain these items. Because look, it's just taking time. You know, Saigib's doing multiple cycles of these pickups, and all it's really increasing so far is losing the clock. He's obviously trying to keep control, so when the fight breaks out, maybe he's able to really kind of just power his way through. But we've already hit the 5-minute warning, and so far now, the pressure really is on Saigib to try and make something happen. But Cooler's so happy to just content, sit there in the middle of the map, listen out for the sound cues, caught swapping weapons, could have opportunity for some real damage, but Saigib running out of rockets, that's going to waste even more time.
Time wasting just is everything to Cooler. Spending a lot of time up in that nail gun room. And he was spending some time also trying to listen out for the major items just to make sure that, okay, I got the exact timing. That means I kind of know what Saigib's, not his item rotation is like, but the time between the items where he's probably going to try and chase me. So it just gives him that extra little detail to know, okay, this is when I have to be extra tense and extra anticipating.
This is the rail shot, which is really bad news. But what's good news is that rail to capitalize. And just like that, Cooler, fresh off the spawn, no armor. Saigib can really catch Cooler out of position. There's potential to come back. That is only 1 frag, still needs 2 more. And as long as Cooler gets the weapons he needs, he can kind of resume his scheduled programming. He did take a long time to finally concede that frag. That rocket's pretty good though. Now Cooler out once more. Does Saigib get the good read? Doesn't want to stray too far from the apple tree, I don't think. But Cooler did manage to get away all the same.
Yeah, I think looking at the hourglass is going to be important for Saiga.
So he denies it, goes forward as much as possible.
But okay, this is some big steps that Saiga's making in this map. Managing to lock down Cooler for a second time on his way to a supposed comeback. He's been very fast around the map for kills. Considering Cooler's not on the mobile champion, his movement has been exemplary.
Absolutely, and a really sort of bonus frag in some ways near the light armor. You can see the difference in Nyx's efficiency when she has a Ghost Walker and when she doesn't. Because when she doesn't, she's basically the easiest champion in the game to kill. And when she has got it, that's where the dynamic applies. That's where the slow-paced game that Cool is trying to play the evasive. Saigib's doing a great job of kind of whittling it down and only needs to get one more to drive things up. Bonus from having this constant level of control means that when he does manage to catch Cooler out, Cooler is pretty much essentially guaranteed to die. And then he pulls off like these miracle shots and then Saigib somehow misses everything, which right now is very likely. That rail is very important though. Automatically puts Saigib a little bit behind, forces him to go towards Mega all the same. He's looking to get a rocket jump, much faster way of traveling up, and the jump pad being a little bit too obvious. He does know that Cooler's there, but Cooler not interested in fighting. Man, that wants to run away as long as possible.
That's alright, Saiga's been putting on the pressure still. One thing he has to look at is his ammunition now that he's got those items ready for him.
Chasing towards for another time. You know, Cooler only really interested in having a rail angle for when that time comes. You know, wait for the Mega to be taken, yeah, sure, but then hit a rail. This rocket jump's going to be real. At this point, still needs to force the Ghost Walk though, so it looked like a slight situation to Saigib. Cooler with his defense ready to go and no Ghost Walk needed. And now we are starting to hit a bit of an alarming territory. You know, 1 minute 40 left. Saigib's done a good job so far, but he catches him off guard. No need for the Ghost Walk just yet. Cooler running for his life. And still no significant connections just yet. He's going full speed ahead.
Okay, he's just forced out the Ghost Walk. That's pretty big news. He's giving a bit of respect to Cooler in case he decides to make an aggressive play onto the Mega Health. He's got 2 rockets left, 1 rail. Certainly topping that up is on the priority list somewhere. And oh god, Cooler hits that big shot. Heavy's going to be up in a second. He has got some grenades they can put out. LG's been looking good. Cooler still can take a rail shot. Grenade on the side, the rocket splash is going to shut Saigib down. What a comeback he'd been looking to make. But Cooler, he wants to shut down the series.
For sure, but that was the time to come in with the clutch with Cooler. No, he took the risk and understood that if I get caught out of position, I just need to make sure I've got my LG angle. I have to compete with the damage, so even if I'm getting peppered down, I can at least return the favor and hit harder. That's exactly what Cooler managed to do in the last few seconds, and now 35 seconds left to go. Cooler, okay, he's getting chased. The Ghost Walk forced, and this is going to waste a bunch of time. Saigib, does he get the right call? Is he able to chase this with enough time?
I think he went the upper shotgun hallway, and Cooler is back in secret. Saigib's going to be chasing. If he can get the kill in the next couple of seconds, then who knows, but he's just had the rotation of items that he's had to leave up. He's forced away. What a great game from Saigib, but an even better one from Cooler. Catch up, this is Cooler securing his way into the semi-finals.
Looks like my prediction was correct, Zeus. It's going to be a 3-1 to Cooler. Saigib had a wonderful beginning, but from that point on, it was pretty much just the Cooler show, wasn't it? He's going to move on into semi-finals, facing off against the winner of Kilson or Wenger. Shout-outs to Saigib. Unfortunately, the Americas' journey does end here for the Stage 1 finals, but he had one hell of a run this weekend.
No, a brilliant run, a fantastic corrupted. I think he fell apart a little bit over on Blood Covenant and Awoken, but Blood Run was brilliant from him. Such a good effort at making a comeback in what is a very difficult champion matchup to play.
For sure. I think we're kind of, we'll talk about this a little bit later. We have a little bit of time as Cooler's preparing for the stage interview. Curious to hear what he has to say. Actually, I'd love to really have the chance to pick his brains about how he's feeling about the weekend. And obviously, he's going to be feeling good having his first win of the weekend, taking out Saigib. But now, I believe very, very soon, we'll be taking it to the stage. And yeah, take it away, chaps.
Thank you very much, guys. Coolers, congratulations. You're into the semi-finals. This is, of course, familiar territory for someone who set such high expectations for himself. But tell me a bit about how you feel your level has been this weekend so far.
Very bad. Actually, I was thinking about losing 3-0, to be honest, because I don't know. I was practicing matches, and I was like losing like tons of them to like everyone. And I don't know, something happened on the stage. Actually, game feels better. And yeah, I'm trying to be myself.
Well, I'm glad it clicked when you were on the stage. Do you feel like it's something you can sort of keep the momentum into the semi-final game now? Has that sort of woken you up in a sense?
Yeah, actually this moment gave me kind of trust, let's say, in myself. And yeah, I'm actually thinking that I can do it, yeah.
Fantastic, the dream is alive. Best of luck to you. Casters, back to you to let us know how that game unfolded.
I think Cooler getting this win has opened up a real mixed bag of players left in this tournament that could absolutely go all the way. I think this is one of the first, and especially actually with the elimination of Electra, it has opened up to me a real situation where everyone left could totally win. Is that there is no clear favorite at all.
It's definitely tough to tell. I think this is a discussion that we'll probably have to have between you and 14 and figure out what we think, because the competition is so heated at the moment. It's so difficult to tell who's going to be able to take it all. Again, I want to just give some credit to Saigib, as he's going to be seeing himself off the stage. He's had a brilliant run here. Cooler was anxious about his game leading into it, but what a way to come out of it with a good victory. And just for a little one for 40, there's no American players left.
There is not. I mean, you've been waiting about 3 years to gloat about that. The time
It's
has,
been a long time, okay?
The time has finally come.
It's been a while.
It was long from the days of everyone saying, hey,
I probably waited 10 years, I don't know.
America is super behind, wait until the EUs, and then raffles and everything, and then Liquid would win all the team modes. It's kind of like, huh. But now, finally, really for the first time, EU is standing stronger than ever, and they are the only ones left in the tournament. EU and CAS, of course. Don't want to miss out CAS. Cooler just won. But it's good for him to get that vote of confidence so he's ready. We have got the bracket so we can see the remaining journey, and this is kind of what we were talking about. Players left in the tournament: Cypher, Razy, Cooler, Kilson, or Venga. If I said pick a clear winner, that's impossible.
I can't pick one over any of them. I'll maybe have my favorites, but honestly, there are people that we'd like to win, and there's a realistic situation. I think that Cypher is definitely the one that stands out. At the moment, it doesn't really matter what happens for him, but I was saying earlier, he's not going to be happy until he at least gets the finals. And if he gets the finals, he's not going to be happy if he doesn't win. So it's like, he has to win to be satisfied on any level at all. How far can his story go? I think the other players we've been seeing a lot more at that high level in Quake Champions more recently, but certainly Venga hasn't been getting those top fours like he's definitely going to be.
And this next matchup is going to be an absolute knock it out of the park. The rematch of rematch. Kilson versus Venga, the world champion, versus definitely in this part of the world, the people's champion. So this crowd's going to be high energy. They're going to be cheering on their boy, but Kilson, I mean, he's the champ for a reason.
No, exactly. He's been a champion here at Luca as well before, so there's a couple of things. He's not the defending champion, but he's definitely going to be having a positive feel always playing on the stage here. And Venga, he's been gunning for a trophy. He's gunning to get his name embedded on that belt. Spark's going to be playing that. If it's going to be anything like the games we've been having in the weekly, this is going to be good.
Excellent.
It's been such a good day, hasn't it? We have another one of our quarterfinals to get through. Don't go anywhere because, come on, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be Kilson and Venga. This is the Stage 1 finals for the Quake Pro League, and we'll see you very soon.
Teams are tied. Blue leads. Teams are tied.
Teams are tied. Blue leads. Teams are tied. Red leads. Teams are tied. Blue leads. Teams are tied. Red leads. Teams are tied. Red leads. Impressive. Teams are tied. Red leads. Teams are tied. Blue leads. Teams are tied. Red leads. Teams are tied. Blue leads. Teams are tied. Red leads. Teams are tied. Red leads. Teams are tied. Blue leads. Teams are tied. Blue leads. Impressive. Blue leads.
Buongiorno, Luca. Welcome back to the last quarter-final match we have here today in the San Romano Cathedral. This, as the casters have said before, it's a little bit of a rematch of a rematch of a rematch, but to be perfectly honest, it's one that everyone in this hall has been waiting for some time. First up, let me introduce to the stage a previous champion at Luca Comics and Games and your current world champion who had this belt before this weekend. Say hi to Kilson! And his opponent, who a number of years ago knocked on the door of the Quake Elite and then proceeded to absolutely barrel it down. Shake the cathedral, ladies and gentlemen, for Wenger! I'm not gonna lie, I love doing that. All right, guys, we're going to get into map number 1 as soon as possible. Keep your energy right where it is. Casters, over to you.
Whoa, it's so juicy, isn't it, Force?
It's fantastic. The champion. We finally get to see the reigning world champ, and then we get to see the hometown hero. You heard the roar of the crowd, and that music makes him want to dance. Again, shout out to Marky Music. He makes some banging tunes.
Marky's themes are absolutely off the chain, but what's going to be even more off the chain is the matchup we're just about to see. It's an eternal run back between these two players. You know, Kilson, he is the reigning world champion. There's a point at QuakeCon where it really did look like nobody could touch him, and he proved it more than. Now, what to expect? even though Kilson's the champ, these two players have gone back and forth. You know, if you've been watching the Quake Pro League, or if you haven't, they've played tons of times during the weekly periods because of their constant high placing in the regional leaderboard. Now, they've been very, very here and there. You know, sometimes Wenger has won, sometimes Kilson has won. And that leads to being a very, very unpredictable series. We have got some stats for Kilson so we can have a look and see what to expect here. But what I can say we can expect is, I always use the term obnoxiously efficient. It just feels like this guy doesn't make mistakes. It feels like he's always in the right place at the right time. His accuracy is some of the absolute best in the world. And every single ounce of what he does is very consistent. It's hard to get a bad game out of him.
And if you take a look at the graphics, his only 2 losses are to Wenger. Just saying.
And then
Just saying.
The final week,
foreshadowing, who knows?
And then the final week, taking it over Wenger. And this really kind of goes towards that just eternal back and forth that he has with Wenger. If there are 2 players from this region that were projected to do very well, dare I say win it based on their current form, it is actually these 2. So the fact that only one of these players will be progressing in the bracket, it's kind of, not to undersell the rest of the competition, it's quite a blessing for the rest of the players remaining in the tournament. Because Kilson and Wenger, they've been doing so crazy good in the weeklies, only really being able to defeat each other, and that's kind of it. We have got the picks and bans, and we can see what to expect. Very interested, actually, to see what they will be. As we can see, Blood Covenant first, then Awoken, Blood Runners third, Molten Fools, and then finally, if we reach that stage, Corrupted Keep. But we start off real strong. Kilson and the Slash. Kilson and Slash are so good together, and he's just made magic happen with the fast crouch sliders. Awoken up next. There's obviously Wenger's pick, Shock Horror, a map that, you know, he's almost undefeated at. Did suffer a defeat earlier to Base on this map, but not before taking Base's best map in Blood Run almost immediately after. So we'll just call that one Opposites Day.
That was incredibly impressive by Wenger to be able to go into Base's homeland and just take it, rip it out from his hands. But yeah, losing Awoken was a little bit odd to see. Hopefully he'll be a little bit stronger against Kilson, but Kilson's no stranger on winning on Awoken either. I mean, he's going berserk sometimes. We've seen him do crazy things off the spawn to get the win, anything it takes, especially in this top 8 situation.
But with the map picks, I mean, they do look kind of expected. You know, Kilson going in with Blood Run again, another map that he's very, very successful on, because it is that when you have to hit the right shots and then can play hyper defense, making no mistakes is a huge part of playing defensively, right? Because it's so easy to put that one micro step out of position, and before you know it, you've eaten a rail, and that rail spells disaster. You're way weaker than you want to be, and bam, Wenger's on top of you and you're dead.
He's so focused right now. Look at this. It's got to mean so much to get this far in front of the hometown crowd. He wants to bring in the W. Kilson, he wants to etch his name in that belt again. One time isn't enough.
I mean, that would be quite the story, that there are 2 titles that the name is on twice. I mean, that's just, it spells dominance out before even needing to see a single map played out. But there's a mixture of pressure coming from this. You know, ultimately, Kilson, he wants to remain the champion, the reigning supreme factor. And then if you're Wenger, I mean, you can't even put into words how much a victory in his home territory would mean to him. It would make the crowd go wild, electric almost. And it's stuff that he's trying not to think about too much to prevent being distracted, obviously. But, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here when it comes to the levels of hype. We're going into map number 1. It's going to be Kilson. It's going to be Wenger. Let's get Blood Covenant up and running.
It's going to be Nyx versus Slash, and it's going to be loud. Here's the hometown crowd roaring for Wenger. We're going to follow him off the spawn. A bit of MG damage right off the bat as 1 rocket from Kilson just to shoo him away for the time being. Ghostwalk is up and available just in case it gets crazy in that peak from Kilson. A little bit unaware of Wenger's place here. Look at him just walking. He wants the rail so bad. It's going to be a dangerous peak. There's the rail. Wenger's like, okay, I'm going to take that one here, but he does drop down to 50. He's going to make his way to the heavy as the players will trade the items one more time.
I really want to rewind time for a few hours for the guys and girls watching right now. You know, it was Base versus Wenger on this exact map. Wenger approached a very unorthodox style with that. He would be kept away from the rail for quite a significant amount of time. He would keep going into thinking, look, rail was really important. The earlier I can get it, the better. But both these played, especially rail. Rail Soot, sometimes people call him. Rail. We'll see if he can match through. Unfortunately, the pressure was laid on. And the expectation to land some miracle shots up, taking 2, taking 3. Kilson has to be really careful. Hits another one. Can he finish the job? Goes in for the SSG just in case he chases down LG direction. And Kilson away with his life, but barely. There's not a lot of resources left on this map. If he goes by heavy, there's a lot of stuff he could potentially take, but it's out in the open. Risks facing certain death. He's trying to go down the catacombs. The rail finally misses, thanking his lucky stars that he's finally been able to get away. Wenger trying to lay that pressure on, is able to maintain it, gets the double jump. Kilson annihilated for that first frag.
Hearing the roar of the crowd there, the wall jump, aiding him in jumping the cap and getting that frag with the LG. There's a great rail. Wenger heating up. He's going to try for another one, maybe another one. Can't land the last 2 as Kilson survives, gets the Mega, and gets the hell out of there. Wenger up 1-0, 2 minutes in though, looking very strong. Very streaky with the rail, but he'll take the damage he can get. There's a huge jump over there right in his face. No real damage dealt.
No need to go for the Ghost Walk just yet either. It's one of the fundamental tools of matchup when you have a champion like Nyx versus a high-octane, fast and furious champion like Slash. It's always a game of patience. You're always expecting, oh my god, 100 damage. That hurts so good for Kilson. Kilson does manage to get a delicious vertical rail, and the Ghost Walk finally popped. That was exactly why you save it for when the time is right there. Wenger can barely tank 1 rail. Has to be very careful with the 2 Printed Light champions coming through kills from each 1 rocket. Only 1 rail left in the tank though. Wenger has to be very careful with how he picks the shot. He's only going to get 1.
I like the instant reaction there from Kilson. Right when the Ghost Walk was popped, he popped the trail and he was out of there. There's a great rail through the telly. Wenger thought he was going to go for another one, but he's not going to risk his stack as it's a little bit weak here. Rocket flies by as Kilson makes his way over to the heavy. There's a great rocket on the bridge. Follow up with the rail, won't land. Still looking for more here. Again, no dice. Wenger will use that wall jump again to get over the bridge, get a better position. He will eat a rail and be forced off of that position.
We saw this when Wenger fought up against base. There's a lot of respect. Like, he knows he's up against Kilson, and Kilson has a habit of hitting these crazy shots. Even though Wenger himself has off-the-chain accuracy, it's just a matter of if you have even a risk of giving up an angle, it puts you in a weird spot. Wenger's not really taking it today. He is playing so crazy careful. And when he has the lead, then obviously that's going to benefit his style, but the opening rockets, is he going to win this fight? Looks like Kilson gets the rocket he's after, making it a 1-1, taking the perfect time to go in, and perfectly timed for the heavy as a nice little reward.
Grab the files. He's going to have the slash trail up. Ghost Walk going to be up temporarily. The shards go to Wenger. Great vertical rail there. He's going to grab the Mega. Almost an opportunity to hit another one here. He's going to catch him out in the stairwell. He will. There's the slash trail as well. And the Ghost Walk saves Wenger's life. Barely hanging alive, and he gets stuck in the trail, and that's going to be a frag for Kilson. What a trap.
I really feel like Wenger must have just been stuck between a rock and a hard place, because not only the looming damage of the plasma trail, but the detonation, and he was so weak. No real chance of him surviving it. Entry damage for the LGs coming in hot. Kilson making chase. Will continue eating a lot of Tribolt. More Tribolt for him to be comfortable with pursuing that way. Keeping his lead for now and establishing timing and just general health bursts thanks to the Mega. He's looking for more. Getting denied. The rail there doesn't really matter too much as right now Kilson maintains his lead. The benefit of Slash being able to get in and out kind of whenever she wants.
Only 1 rocket for Kilson. There it goes, just like that. He needs to realize he doesn't have anything. He's going to swap the rail, trying to find some damage. It's going to be 1 miss. Looking for another one. His rockets going in from Wenger. He decides with the heavy machine gun that he's going to pepper in some damage into the rail. Very well done. And there's the Ghost Walk up the jump pad, and just like that, the trail comes out yet again. I like the reactions from Kilson. Just get out of there. You don't want to mess with it. And it's already netted you a frag. Why not some extra damage?
Didn't quite get the rocket. He had the right read though, kind of knowing that he's going to double down and try and get that light armor. The rocket was a bit too late on that one. LG being matched immediately, knowing he's going for the speed. Oh! Miracle rocket! He actually saw the player cam Kilson. That was a what was that?
Right between the eyes. Kilson not afraid to show emotion here as Wenger ties it at 2. Rounding the 6-minute mark. Ghost Walk is up. He wants a rail. Secure that without much trouble. Maybe even the heavy as well. Mega's going to be up in about 13 seconds. That's a pretty good spread. He can make his way back if he wishes. He's going to take the low road, which could cause some problems here. He's going to go up the jump pad for free. There's the damage. Ghost Walk coming out There's the chase, needs to be careful, and look at that double back. I like that.
Actually, a half second away from getting a telefrag on the Ghost Walk.
Wow.
He's going to get fragged again, trying to bully his way into Mega. Doesn't quite work out. And off the back of the previous frag that we saw Wenger get, Zook did say himself he believes that Wenger has the greatest rockets in the world at this point. And it just comes down to these wild predictions. That was a game of Kilson thinking, how did he aim at that specific angle, knowing I was going to go there? But it's the edge that Wenger has. It's this area of talent that feels almost unmatched with specific weapons. He just finds these miracle scenarios that are almost impossible to factor in. Here comes the rail, trying to run away, going in for a rail again, but doesn't actually need a rail at this stage. Was just looking for something nice and long range, perhaps. Kilson forced onto the back foot. At this point, can he even really fight for the heavy? At the very best, can he maybe try and pick an angle and salute it, or use this time? Intelligently, actually, Wenger was trying to establish another rail, knowing that Kilson's unlikely to fight for it, and use that time to try and build back up the natural stack. A good call, but just didn't quite get the shot. But the read was there. His mind was in the right place.
A very strong read from Wenger there. Good rails from both players. As he's looking for a little bit more impatient. Less than 3 minutes. Wenger has a 1 frag lead on map number 1. And this is the last quarterfinal game of the day. So nice. Ghost Walk still available just in case something goes terribly wrong here at the heavy, but it's going to be a clean pickup for Wenger as he makes his way over. And a rocket jump up to the rail. He wants to re-up on those, and then a nice wall jump back over towards the rockets. Snail Trail comes out immediately again, and Wenger comes out to Mega just in case. He's gone up that jump pad to Mega twice and done such an immense amount of damage to Kilson. But I think Kilson's afraid to take that fight now almost.
I think some of those amazing angles that Wenger has been able to almost bully into Kilson has made him a little bit self-conscious of that. Because when you fight someone like Wenger who's hitting shots that you're just not used to seeing, and even when these players have played multiple times, even in the online weeklies, shots like that don't happen. It's a lot more.
What kind of reaction was that? That must be 19+1 reaction. You don't get that with old man reaction.
These young whippersnappers.
These young kids today, but 3-2. Time is ticking. Snail Trail comes out from Kilson. The jump over, a little bit of LG. When you're playing defensive down in the blood pool now, he's going to eat a rail. He's going to try and escape through the LG back into the pillar room.
Well, Kilson's been able to really enforce a lovely level of control here. That might in part be the fact that Wenger has adopted a very defensive style, and there is just over a minute left, and if Wenger just plays his cards right, we saw this exact same thing against Base. Gets a wonderful rocket! Going in for a 1v1. Kilson, can he use this opportunity to really lay the smack down on Wenger, who right now is just looking for armor? That's why he's jumping down towards Banana.
He didn't use Ghost Walk, even in that situation. High pressure, there's the drop down into a rocket. Snail Trail comes out. Kilson so hurt, misses with the rail, and Wenger again holding on to that Ghost Walk. If he could just make it a little bit further, that Ghost Walk can ensure the victory. He's still up by 1, 50 seconds left.
But it is those rockets that's just becoming such a huge pain for Kilson. The moment he goes in for the kill, it's 100 almost every single time. Wenger just hitting the perfect shot. And the damage against Slash, she has to take that very seriously. She can't just force her way through and go, okay, 100, whatever, I'll use the rest of my stack. Because if he hits any more of those rockets in a situation you've been forced in, you may as well be a guaranteed death. And Kilson...
Impressive.
And then we're back. Sorry about that, folks. 10 seconds left on the clock. Not quite sure what happened there, but we're back.
I just keep kicking wires. 5 seconds left. Kilson's going for the frag. He needs this more than anything, but the defensive rocket for Wenger will win him the map.
Got that right. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Are we back, 40? Are we alive?
I think we're good. I'm just, I'm so antsy. I'm kicking my feet around. This is a crazy set. This was a crazy map. And Wenger, that frag was hilarious. I'm not going to lie. Getting stuck in the stairwell with the Snail Trail. That rocket, though, you could see that reaction from Kilson, so upset. This play up the jump pad, fearless. He did it twice. That one netted him the frag. Another one did an immense amount of damage. But in the end, these rockets so strong, keeping Kilson out 4-2. Wenger takes map number 1, and that's going to be huge. Gaining momentum, I think, in these sets. is everything. And starting like that, Kilson being so close to tying it, and Wenger saying no with that rocket. Absolutely fantastic play from the young hometown hero.
I mean, Wenger is just so careful now. He's going into this with a lot of respect, and I really want to wind the clock back 1 year when we saw Wenger kind of have, I suppose, his breakout performance on a LAN setting, which was this very tournament, the one that Razy was able to take first place in. And Wenger, the main thing he said, the longer the tournament went on, the more comfortable he would become and the more like himself he would play. And he kept saying to, to Zoot especially, was saying, I feel like flip that on its head. I don't know if that's the first you just heard of me saying that, but we're back. We keep losing audio our end. Sorry about this, guys. If you can
That
hear
time
us,
it wasn't my fault.
but if they can, I don't think it, well, that's a story for another
Yeah.
time, but personally I don't think it is. I think it's just things being nicked or whatever it might be. But fundamentally, God, if you imagine if it's only us losing audio and I'm just interrupting my own sentences going, hey, what, wait, what, huh? We're back.
I mean, regardless, I'm having a great time, all right? I'm sure the
I'm
crowd's having a great
time.
time. I hope chat's having a great time. It's been a long day of Quake, but this is going to be a long series. The reigning champ has to have it in his mind that I'm defending this belt. I'm defending my honor, defending my championship, and I'm defending my right to carve my name into that belt one more time. Map number 2 is live. Wenger versus Kilson on Awoken. Ketchup, what do you think is going to happen?
I'm just looking at the way the maps went, and I'm looking at the fact that, one of the things is that the Blood Covenant being Kilson's pick, and a map that he's exceptionally strong at being taken by Wenger in the fashion it did, where Wenger looked extremely comfortable. Now we are going on to Awoken, which is the map that Wenger is kind of famous for at this stage. So it's quite concerning, really. Kilson has his work. Position to maybe take this fight if he wishes, but right now we're going to disengage, back up and restock up just a little bit.
Stacks about even now, a minute in. There's a Wenger playing down below. An LG over, Kilson that makes the leap. What a flick rail from Wenger. Almost gets the one through the drive-through window. Kilson will get the Mega and a rail of his own, but needs to be careful here. Wenger stack really weak, 27 HP. Both players extremely weak after that. One health bubble towards Wenger. He could go through the telly. Opts not to as Kilson makes his way towards the LG room. Doubles back and hits a great rail as Wenger's going up the jump pad.
For that first decision that Wenger made to really kind of sit on heavy and try and get that information, we get some opening damage on Kilson first, it kind of just created that delay. There's 10 seconds separating the two items, and on Awoken, that's more than enough time to cycle the two of them if you can establish control. Wenger, out of control, does pick up small armor at the right time, forced to use his Dire Orb just to remove the angle from Kilson. Gets hit by a rail all the same, that wonderful... do another time something that has proven to be an almost impossible task, defeating Wenger on Awoken. Kilson has added his name to that list.
Eerily quiet in the cathedral.
There's a lot of... I think you could definitely cut the intensity with a knife. 'Cause the amount of people in this crowd that are going to be cheering for Wenger, that very much was a one-sided map against him.
Yeah,
And it was his best
not
match.
the biggest fans, but fantastic play from Kilson. Going to tie it at 1 apiece in the series, and just so many rails. I can't. If we can get the stats later, I'd love to see his percentage on this map because it was insane. Look at that, just hitting everything. It felt like.
And at the same time, on top of his really good accuracy in general, there were a lot of rail shots where he was essentially forcing Wenger into a position where his movement was too predictable at the same time. Lots of jump pads, lots of rocket knockups where, you know, that's kind of almost muscle memory at that point. You know someone's using a jump pad, you know what their trajectory is going to be. A lot of those fights too, Wenger didn't actually have the dire orb, so when he was stuck in those positions where the rail was guaranteed, only wouldn't have been guaranteed if he had a dire orb to change the way he was stuck in place. But more often than not, Wenger just didn't really have the orb available. I don't really think it accomplished a huge amount. It would somewhat distract maybe, but that's really all it did, and it wasn't enough to really get many frags for sure. These frags at the end
I think
were
that was a
very
huge
much.
confidence boost.
Oh yeah,
Kilson.
for sure. Just forced him into a
It always-
position.
it always-
Punched him in the face.
It always feels good to go berserk on somebody, but still hyper-focused. He wants to get into the second map. 68% rail?
Wow.
Brutal.
Need we say more on that one? Railson coming out to play for another time, I think.
So going into Blood Run, Eisen versus Sorlag.
It's hard not to count out. Sorry, Kilson on this map. He has a wonderful track record on it. Not only in QPL, but I mean just in general, right? Every time we see Kilson play on Blood Run, he more than holds his own, and in some cases just absolutely unleashes devastation. Because it just fits his style. You know, very, very calculated and efficient. And again, a rail map, by all means.
More experience, I'd say, for Kilson, but Wenger, possibly the best experience, was just beating base on it just a few hours ago. So he's no stranger. I think he might know how to handle it, but will we see another instance of Railson here as we're going to get into the third map? Blood Run, Wenger versus Kilson. We got Sorlags and we got Eisens here as we are live. One rail right off the bat, but Wenger is going to be the one to land that one. The turret comes down immediately. Wenger's going to go up into the nail and that's the grab of an LG.
Wenger did go for a pretty big start, understanding his spawn, knowing that Kilson's much more like a spawn near heavy. He did try and enforce some kind of pressure early on, didn't quite hit the rockets he was looking for. But I mean, that really, for me, spells that Wenger, he's not comfortable with just going with, you know, the norm where I take, you take, and one of us breaks away. I really think there's going to be some spice added to this mix. Unfortunately, that shotgun's doing lots of damage. Wenger has to be really careful. Kilson getting the final shot. That is the thing about these larger champions. They have larger hitboxes, and the SSG becomes much more devastating against them.
Red leads.
Grabs that 50 shard, makes his way back to the shotgun here. 8 seconds till the heavy's going to want to try and hold up here. I think, did he just spot him out? Smell something. Something's awry. There's one rocket, won't get any information out of it, but I don't know if Wenger's going to speak. There's a rail attempt.
So far, Wenger his angle is easy for him. He's really kind of dipping in and out of these extremely awkward times. And part of it is that potentially not having a rail. But we'll see what happens here as the Tribot comes through just to get a bit of damage. To pop the Mega. There's a delay between Heavy and Mega, so Kilson in control right now. And even then, he's not going to shy away from the pick of that rail too much. That's made a massive impact to get one more of those. We might be in business right now. Kilson's just looking for the best time to go in and take Heavy. As you can see, Wenger is looking to make bait. Looking to punish him if he goes for it. But Wenger can't really afford to stick around forever. One of those rails connecting, and that rail was the one-way ticket towards Heavy. Wait for him to pop up. The fight almost goes again.
Close, and look at Kilson.
Oh yeah,
he's like, oh man, I ran out of rockets. That was too close. I don't like that.
The important thing though is that he's able to recover accordingly. That could have been disaster, but now it's just going to be continuing this giant lead. That Kilson was just building this momentum right straight off a map win. And now he's going into Blood Run, looking fully in control here. Once You know, this use of icing on highly defensive maps, you can see what the turret does, shutting down some of those angles, almost covering his back a little bit with the rail, forcing Venga to use some of his weapons with the turret instead of him, take the mega in and out.
What a rocket there. Kilson rail out. I'll get a free heavy off that rocket jump. Mega's going to be up in 6 seconds. Up and down in position. Feel how Venger might be.
Now, I don't speak Italian, but I'm pretty convinced the Italian commentators must have just said, if you want to give Venga support, let him know about it.
This place is shaking right now.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty sure there was a mini chomp there too. And it's to no surprise. Like this is where we are, right? Venga's taking so much damage though. Comfortable and hard to crack into, but that's his style. Not only on Blood Run, but Kilson, if you give him an angle, he will take a rail almost every single time. And we've seen from time and time again just what rail can do. Force you to horrific position. At the moment, Kilson's just eluding Venga every single time. Trying to potentially head him off and look for a unique angle to get those rails. He has the rail in mind, but I feel like every time you have an angle, Kilson, you know, more than often than not, if you can rail somebody, they can rail you too, especially if they know where you are.
At that point, do you really want to test your luck against Kilson's rail right now after hitting 68%? Venger's waiting on this tri-bolt here, nail out, taking a lot of LG. That's going to force the spit out defensively from Venger. He really wants this heavy. He's scared of jumping. He knows Kilson is down below.
And Kilson with a lead like that, and the fact that he's near Mega, no signs of really budging. There is a little bit of tri-bolt damage, but it's still nothing really to write home about just yet. And Venger is just trying to make a decision. And Kilson just completely denying the heavy in every way. This is all just taking time, isn't it? And we're just always keeping an eye on the clock. How awkward these exchanges might be. Venger kind of weak, in fact, too. All it takes is one magical tri-bolt or a rail just like that, and Venger's in a horrible position. But he just cannot allow Kilson to consistently just run in and steal away the heavy. And now he's weak. It's like that's something that Kilson might be more than happy to do. Yeah, we just saw the health. That was a rocket jump for sure. Straight up into the heavy to take away. Acid Spit comes out. He's been missing a lot of rails in this map. I think he's so mindful about trying to hit a rail angle and then deny one from Kilson that it's just causing him to miss just a micro-inch.
That last one. Make sure that he stays focused in the game. Still got 5 minutes, only down 2. Very possible, but another rail from Kilson. Absolutely relentless. He's going to grab a 50 shard. Grab a rocket launcher and eat another rail, and Kilson is just everywhere right now.
It's just how much of a solid gauge he has of how Venger's moving around the map. And even with the use of X-Ray, he does manage to get the punish. Can he finish it? A beautiful rocket jump to save him from the wall right there. That would have absolutely been a guaranteed frag had Kilson not gone in for that rocket jump. However, the fight might not be over yet. The turret doing a decent amount of damage to him, to be honest. It's allowing Kilson to disengage, collect all of those light pickups near power after him. And looks like that last stack goes back to normal. Kilson, the reactions on that rocket jump to say, hang on now, this is a terrible situation. I'm out, see you later.
It was such a beautiful float by Venger too. Kilson with the panic button. Saved his life, still up 2. Reigning champion at another map. Rockets though needs to worry about the turret. Venger needs to turn around and deal with it. Down to 81 HP. He's going to grab some health bubbles. Heavy is up, spamming nails. Making sure that this heavy is his. That's a good rail, but he's still very, very weak. Kilson hanging on by a thread though. Use the nail room resources to get back up as best he can, but time is ticking.
But it looks like he's chasing it down. Oh, the turret just being a pain again. It really has been such an annoyance, but you can see why Kilson's gone for the pick on this map. You know, similar to back in the day, the Galena totems being used near teleporters to be a massive nuisance. It's pretty much exactly what they're being now. The Acid Spit coming forward, acting as area denial for now in this eternal guessing game of who's going to make the play near heavy. Looks like Kilson's going to go in and out. Venger, no choice but to concede, but really can't allow him to go to get the Mega as well. And now he has to retreat. Try and build up some stamina with those rails. Kilson has made it so impossibly hard to just crack into this armor, and a rail's going to land too.
Kilson wants the frag. Good defensive rocket from Venger as he hears the rocket jump. There's another one. That one will be, I think, on the turret, actually, it looked like. The 225s for Wenger, he's absolutely crippled. Every rail Kilson hits, just a thorn in Wenger's side. As another heavy goes towards Kilson.
An awkward position for Wenger too. As weak as he is, no choice but to just sit and listen to that heavy getting collected. At the very least, it's going to give him timing, but I don't think timing's really going to help him, because every time the item is there in plain sight, he just feels like it's impossible to get from it. That rocket is a real heartbreaker. Wenger, weak enough as is, and still railable with the health that he's sitting on. He has to find some light armor, and he has to find it stacked, but you know Kilson's on the warpath. Speaking of which, here he is, looking for the rail in hand, and if he hits a magical angle, he might be able to deliver that shot, but right now just using it to establish more control, and control has been the aim of the game. Continuing to just cycle this map as Wenger is starved of any chance to come back.
2 minutes. Oh, wow, another rail in the float into shotgun. Kilson had such a big stack. He was like, I'm just going to drop down and end this. 3-0, 130 left. Making it infinitely harder. Wenger was caught out of lightning, missed a rail from Kilson. Meg's going to go to Wenger because of nails coming towards Kilson's face.
I was literally, the second I saw even the second missed rail, I was looking right at the player cam. Because you know Kilson, he's so well known for landing those rails. And those rails were pretty standard ones. Well, we've got so you fun. 3-0 for Kilson. Look, at the moment, we are just about to hit that 1 minute warning. Wenger tagged by another rail force from the back foot, and the time it takes for him to restack back up, even with those health bubbles, it doesn't mean a whole lot, especially when Kilson's hitting rails where he has been 30 seconds ago. We'll forget about that. 50 seconds on the clock. Wenger, mammoth task once more. Excellent rail to shut it down, and the rails have just been
wow. Heavy to the wrist, deny the heavy.
Wenger has to try something at this point. The timer just isn't on his side. He's going to get juggled a bit. Rocket jump just to disengage that situation.
Such an incredible shot from Kilson. That hits another rail. 4-0, less than 30.
And this is going to be another map win for Kilson. But he's going to make it 2-1. This was absolutely the Kilson show. Wenger I feel like he was just a guest on this map. No point did he really have a chance to play at all. Kilson just shut him down every step of the way. Every rail angle was met with a shot. He's pushing in just in case. I mean, any frag here at this point is going to be bonus. Wenger's going to fall for the 6th time, but that's another map done. Kilson making it 2-1, and he's 1 map away from eliminating.
And he is ecstatic right now. Still more work to be done. The crowd trying to pump up Wenger right now. Looking down the barrel of a, well, double barrel shotgun, it looks like.
Definitely at the start of the map. That's the benefit of those facing off against those larger champions. You know, the super shotgun dictated by spread. The larger you are, the bigger you'll appear in that spread. And Sorlag, Clutch, Scalebearer, they don't like super shotgun very much, especially when they're on the receiving end.
A bit allergic, and look at that. There's just another instance of him using the shotgun and rail. Just bread and butter on this map, and that pick out of the sky from Kilson.
There were just so many awkward exchanges that Wenger was essentially forced into. It was that early start, you know, Kilson getting the early level of control thanks to that first frag. Allowed him to kind of just pick his angles nice and carefully. He's not realistically going to miss a lot of those rails versus someone as large as Sorlag. And it really was Wenger trying super hard to get back into the map with any small pickup he could, but by the time he was taking those items, Kilson kind of had that rail angle ready. It's almost like he had a complete mind of everywhere Wenger was going to try and retreat to, so anytime something resembled the chance to come back, there was just nothing. You know, he was just controlling from start to finish. That was 10 minutes of pure Kilson dominance.
So stifling when you try and get just any kind of stack going, and it's just rail. Show your face from around any corner, and Kilson is there waiting to deal damage. Molten Falls is going to be the next map we're going to get into, and it looks like it's going to be D-Gate loading up shortly. A little bit of magic. Needs to put something together.
We are reaching the awkward situation of some of the map picks. I'm definitely not saying that these players don't know how to play every champion in the game, because that would be straight up.
You'd be a liar.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is that now we're kind of reaching the later stages. There is always the potential that you start to get forced onto champions that maybe something or don't have as much immediate experience. There are champions that get picked almost 100% of the time that you can guarantee. But in this best of 5 scenario, especially in the later stages, we're now very much moving into champions, they might start to make a pretty big difference. In Molten Falls, it does demand specific picks. Athena or Molten, I mean, that makes total sense. We have seen it plenty of times. The verticality goes a long way. Speed goes a long way as well. This could be Kid Bellissimo's last chance to stay alive in this tournament and bring us into a final map where Skillson going to tie the knot right.
Starting off on Wenger, starting off on the rail, and the heavy, super high mobility on this Athena. Might be able to see some creative plays here from the young Italian. There's one little shotgun blast right off the bat from Kilson. Wenger waiting patiently. Kilson not showing the sight. I think he peeked a little bit and just chipping. Someone's saying hi. How are you?
Kilson just peppering it down, and it's actually really starting to add up quite significantly to the point where it's forcing Wenger to be a little bit more careful. However, he's going to get the heavy all the same. Mega is now active, but what's the play from Kilson once more? He's just sitting there and delaying it a little bit. Content with a straight trade. He wants that opportunity to get some proactive to start running the cycle. That level of Kilson, when we've seen all series long, when he has control established and there is a delay in between the two pickups, he becomes exceptionally dangerous. Because you take that cycle plus Immaculate Rail, you know, that's it. It allows Kilson to play his game.
What a great rail drop down with the heavy. There's the hook. He's not going to get the momentum he wanted off that. It's going to be a little bit better. He is going to get the mega pick up. Great rail from around the corner on the Kilson as he tries to escape. He's going to definitely re-up on rails. I think we're going to see a lot of these on this map.
There is absolutely an element of open armor pool once more. Athena, we said it earlier, glass cannon. Absolutely how you describe this champion, but Wenger, you have to make sure that when he's landing these shots, he's being as careful as he possibly can on the chase to make sure these defensive rockets don't connect and absolutely melt them away. Has been able to connect before the Mega. That said, Kilson able to collect the Mega and then quickly go in for the escape in the light armor. Very risky play if you're going to be Athena this close. Watch out for the rockets. Here we go. Potential for one of the frags to happen. Either play it interesting, taking the fight too much. Going back to that patient game. Heavy's about to spawn. He's holding the rail angle. Wenger doing about a second longer. He might hit that rail, but it doesn't matter. He's getting the heavy all the same. Don't take any damage just yet. Kilson's still pretty weak. Oh, perfect shot. He even tried to adjust his angle with the grappling hook, and still Kilson was able to hit that rail. Wonderful shot.
Top off that armor here. Well, he's going to be up at about 7 seconds. A nice 10-second split between the items here. The rails exchange. Nothing's going to land. Wenger does have all 3 hooks. He can get a little crazy if he wants. Rail attempt there.
But in the time Kilson's been able to stay alive, those defensive shots that have stopped Wenger from being able to really press the advantage too hard. It has naturally allowed him to build that stack of significant level. The dual wheels coming through. We're going to try and bang out just a little bit, but Kilson still has a stack even without it to try and potentially win this fight. All the light on the rails. Who's going to get the first burst of damage? Wenger's got to be really careful. Going in for the kill! Wow. The close range rail! I cannot believe he hit a shot like that! This can be 1-0. He's very weak. He has to get in and out as quickly as possibly can, otherwise Kilson's going to refrag this. Has to watch out. The grappling hook, but delays it just slightly to get that small health bubble. Can he get the second shot? Almost does, and that would have been a 2-0. But what a first frag that was!
Play was so ballsy. And into the rail. Hit him with the 2-piece rocket to rail combo as the crowd comes alive, and so does Wenger up 2. I don't think Kilson expected that hook towards him on that first frag. He's like, he would never. And he did, and then he hit the rail, and he had that combo right there. Wenger absolutely finding his rhythm here. 4 minutes on the board. He does need a little bit more armor here. Heavy just got taken maybe up soon, but his positioning's a little off. Can't really fight for this. Maybe get a rail off if he's lucky, but instead he's going to make his way over towards this armor shard. Pray that it goes.
Never doubt the confidence of Wenger. It's one of his strongest suits now, especially in 2019. And always count on him to just deliver those clutch, easy moments. However, he has been ambushed, and that will be a free pickup from Kilson, who just put that position perfectly. Unfortunately for Wenger, now giving up a huge amount of control for it. And now he's, you know, that glass cannon effect might become a little bit of a pain to try and disengage as much as possible, get the weapons back online, and he needs to get himself a rail as well. And that's kind of Kilson heading him off, going into the dual wheel, springing the trap, but he's getting juggled massively. But it doesn't matter. All the shots in the world cannot compete with the stack of Kilson with the amount of pickups he had just acquired. Wenger really trying to dig his heels in, but just couldn't deliver the damage.
Trying to fight for his life. That lightning gun can't land what he needs. Kilson with a great job. Timed it at 2. We got 5 minutes left here. Is Kilson going to put the bow on it? Steals the Mega for free. Absolutely no damage put out from Wenger as he fires one lone rocket that doesn't land.
I'm really curious as to how Wenger is going to approach challenging these pickups from this point on, you know, because he's such a light champion in Athena, and she can get in and out, but we've clearly seen that she can really struggle in the stack department, despite how Wenger just died previously on the way to rail. So with Kilson maintaining a stack that is significantly larger than Wenger, how does he pick his fight? Looking for a rail, Kilson misses his shot. Sign of life from Wenger. He's going to pop a dual wheel. Can Wenger escape with his life? Does manage to evade the rail, and that's a win as far as I'm concerned, just to deny Kilson from keeping a massive stack. That was so well played that he could get away while avoiding the rail.
Excellent.
Get out of there. That's why he's so deadly. His great. Closing the gap is great. Decent little rocket there from Kilson. Great rail from Wenger now. Kilson makes his way towards the Mega. Up into 2. Nowhere to be found. That's another freebie.
I definitely don't see with how this map has unfolded, kind of how Wenger, how carefully he's having to respect Kilson in this situation. I don't see this going down to a significant fracture. So I really think it's going to come down to maybe 1 or 2. Wenger, he wants to be careful because he knows that if he's surviving and he maintains a regular stack, there's always a chance for him to secure one important frag, and then he can play off it as the time starts to go down. You know, there really is going to be a patient man's game here, but in short bursts. You know, Wenger, he's been able to bring the pain in tiny micro bursts. However, that rail has just spelled quite negative things here for Wenger because Kilson's stack is still crazy good. The retreat becomes a bit more predictable, does get the perfect read on going into rail run, but not really in a position to do anything about it. It looks like he might have to potentially concede heavy. Wenger, he can't overstay his welcome. With 3 minutes left to go, if he sticks around that 1 second too long on any of these pickups, he's going to get chunked down by Kilson. Doesn't matter how much damage he's doing. If Kilson keeps armor the way he is right now, it's going to be so hard to take a fight.
I do love that defensive rocket. After the dual wheel popped, fired a rocket, and was out of there. That's going to keep Kilson off his back, at least for the time being. But Kilson has quite the stack. There's a great rail. Is this the entry he's looking for? Wenger, a very weak Kilson. Double back down, cut off Wenger as best he can.
Kilson's the one with all the resources, and that's the problem. Every time he has managed to land a shot versus Wenger, yes, he escapes, but at the cost of the major pickup that he's trying to guard. Here comes Mega, very important rail, unreturned, which spells good news for Wenger, looking for another shot, but in and out. Here comes the Mega. Can he turn it around? Uh-oh, bad time to get knocked down, misses the rail. But Wenger very, very weak. How does he try and play this defensive game? Kilson heading him off near top. And he runs into the tri-bolt. Wenger's got to be very careful here. And he's kind of limited on resources he can pick up to try and help himself out. Once more forced to give up the heavy for another time. He's going to bring himself back up to a basic stack. But yeah, I think Kilson's wise to this position. The rail. Wenger heard it. And he's now looking for the shot once more. Looking to dip down and deny. Mega. He's jumping down there, able to escape with his life again. Very important that he can get in and out in that situation. Now, for the first time, really the whole map, Kilson's the one that's really having to be careful. He doesn't have a stack. He gets hit by one rail. He's spelling bad news for himself. And now he needs to try and get some information. He's now having to give up the heavy. Just like that. One rail, one moment where he tries to fight for Mega and finds himself in a position where he can't chase and Athena is too fast. Now he's the one that has to worry. How is this going to go down?
Trying to fortify his stack as best he can as we're rounding into the last minute of this. Are we going to see sudden death? Or does Kid Bellissimo have a little bit of magic for us here? There's the hook. This could be the perfect read. There's another hook. The rocket's good. Pops him up into the wall. Needs one more. The switch. Oh, no! And Kilson will take himself out. Wenger takes the lead.
You know, at the very least, Kilson was looking for a trade in that situation. Definitely not losing out on a frag and making the divide by one. Hits a very important rail. That matters a great deal because now Kilson's in a position to really get that chokehold on, chase it down, get the frag he's looking for. If you're Wenger, you've got to be playing on an absolute knife's edge right now.
One frag, 30 seconds. Can he hold on? Kilson goes flying by. He's trying to hit him. That's a decent rocket. The LG will push him off. That's going to be good. The rocket jump comes out. Kilson had no choice, and the defensive LG from Wenger is fantastic. 20 seconds left, and that may have sealed it.
The absolute benefit and the wonderful pick for Athena in the first place to really just descend faster than any champion can, to put himself at an angle where he can land a shot like that. This should, by all means, be a map win. Kilson and Wenger, we're going down to a map number 540.
Wenger has done it. Kilson's not happy about it, but Wenger extends his life in this tournament.
Oh, I just love how carefully he approached that map. You know, we so often see players when they use these light champions, you know, they use the speed, and sometimes the speed is their worst enemy. And it all came out such
that
a
play
crazy
is I still say that play was insane. All in, hook to rail, worked out, and this float so close.
But Wenger was using the mobility of Athena really for those micro situations. It wasn't so he could constantly just fly around the map and you know, kind of do a little bit of showing off, right? Sometimes we see that from players. But Wenger was just being so calculated. He understood that he gets caught in one bad position. There are quite a few parts of Molten where if you get hit by one bad rail or rocket and there's nowhere really to run, you just get absolutely destroyed.
And look at the control. Wenger didn't have that much control at all.
He spent a lot of the start of the map conceding control. You know, as long as he maintained his regular base stack, that's kind of all he was looking for. He was just looking for that one magic moment to go in. And, you know, when the time was right, he'd take a fight. Other than that, just allow Kilson to run around and take those items. As long as he's able to hit those rails, the rails kept him going so much. So many situations where if he missed that entry rail as Kilson's pushing the advantage, Kilson would have been like, right, you've missed the shot. What do I have to worry about now? And just delete. You know it would have happened. There's so much crazy micro shots he had to take to stay alive. And then ran away with it at the very end. But map number 5. Did we expect it any other way, Forty?
Going the distance, and I don't think we did. As the reigning champ, he's thinking it over. He's like, doesn't make me too happy. Doesn't make me too happy. Corrupted Keep. It's going to be Death Knight versus Keel. Big fan of the Keel pick on this map. Very small map. No rail on this one. No rail sin. He's going to have to switch to heavy machine gun sin, or LG sin. We'll have to see.
I got to say that I favor Wenger in this position. I think the rail has been such a shutdown tool with Kilson. You know, some of his greatest successes over the course of this series has really started and stemmed from amazing rail shots. And Wenger he's feeding all the momentum after a map like that. We're now going into our final map. If you're in chat, let us know who you want to win. Wenger with that Keel, Kilson with the Death Knight. We're definitely in a map 5 territory with some of these champion picks. Keel, a lot of close environments to get some damage peppered out. However, Kilson, the Death Knight, all it takes is one close encounter to delete.
Just 2 pineapples, but no citrus yet as nothing connects. Wenger gonna grab this lower 50. A little bit of rocket splash, nothing landing quite yet. Heavy machine gun is going to be so crucial, and there's the jump down with the flame strike to keep him out. It's going to bully Wenger off. He's going to wait by rockets here. Kilson's going to make his way through LG. That rocket pineapple into rocket. What a combination from Wenger. Absolutely delicious for the first frag.
Greatest rockets in the world. Do you need any other example? What a wonderful way for him to start this map. And it's just the calculation, you know, he knows if he misses that rocket, he's dead. He's taking so much damage, but he's still delaying the shot, hitting it carefully and just, you know, pulling the trigger when the time is right. And he's done a great job of being able to restack back up. He has plenty of rockets, loads of grenades in the tank. That is the benefit of Kill, right? The fact that he doesn't have to worry about the rest of the weapons he's shooting to fire his grenades. He can just pepper out damage at an alarmingly fast rate.
Another great rocket there as Kilson made his way to the heavy. He does secure it. Needs to be careful here as Wenger has such good defensive rockets right now. That one goes zooming by his head. Kilson looking for some damage. Gets a little bit of information off that splash. But Wenger not afraid to stand his ground. He's got rockets, he's got pineapples, and he's got the frag lead. But this is it. That rocket pop could be everything into the LG. Kilson ties it at 1.
And now he's been able to get himself straight back into this map. The spawn near Nail Rim. Not that Kilson's really bothered at this point, thanks to Heavy just about to respawn. A fat stack. And the flame strike ready to rock and roll. Doesn't pull the trigger on it just yet. I think really saving for a good opportunity to pop it in that situation. Back to that awkward position, Wenger, unfortunately a little bit larger in terms of champion size. The heavy machine gun and the LG from that angle is going to be a little bit easier to land too. And Kilson having no trouble picking that one up, making it 2-1. Plenty of opportunities for this to turn around. We're going to stock up on some LG ammo, enforce the positioning with the Mega. How much damage is Kilson able to do? Has to kind of concede it. Doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks. At this point, actually looking towards the heavy as well.
Fortunately, a little bit too early there. Wenger made it, bullied his way onto that Mega. More pineapples and rockets being fired. There's a little bit of LG, a decent defensive rocket there. Kills in the bay. Not the best idea to chase, regardless. 2-1 advantage to the reigning champ. A little bit of LG outside the telly here as Wenger makes his way to the tribal.
Good enough job being able to roll down Wenger enough to completely uncontested. And Wenger, it's a bit of an awkward room to get stuck in. One wayward direct rocket. Felt quite bad news. Kilson has a nice level of control at the moment. Kind of just gradually cycling these items. There's, of course, a delay in between the two of them so far. So Kilson's able to keep the amount of stackers working on Wenger. There's not really a lot of resources to get back up. There's no armor inside that. So Wenger's just looking for his opportunity to try and escape. But he's being absolutely chased by Kilson. Is Kilson even going to deny this light armor, or is he going to go in for the kill outright? Wenger so weak. Hard for him to escape with his stack. He's been trying to stay alive for so long and allowed a full rotation of the next set of major items to appear. Heavy's going to go down too. He has time to work with this. We can afford to be careful, but I feel like right now this might be the killing blow. Shut down, but not enough to shy away Kilson just yet, as he's still nice and healthy. And that rocket failing to connect so far.
Ooh, the double back doesn't work out. Kilson reads it perfectly, dropping down. Looking at rain rockets, 4 minutes in, 3-1. Wenger's going to grab rockets of his own, does have pineapples on hand as always. But the fight for the Mega won't be much of a fight at all as Kilson secures that one. Going stronger and stronger as he's just cycling these items. Wenger's going to drop down from behind the statue, coming out swinging here. Good rocket for Kilson there.
Kilson's kind of adapting that kind of slow style back into Tropic 2. This is normally seen as one of the more aggressive maps that you can play, but this back-to-back classic game plan, right? Just sit and absorb some of that info. Keep the comfortable lead that he's sitting at the same time. Wenger's going to fall again. Really, I think, struggling to just find his footing. There he goes, going for the chase. Another heavy's going to go into his hands. At this stage, this really looks like it's kind of shaping up to be his map to go through.
So much LG as getting caught behind that statue so deadly. 5-1, the German punishing appropriately. 10 seconds left until mid-round here. Lots of machine gun dodging the pineapple. That could have been the difference maker there. And they're putting out good damage, but he needs to use this to try and get the frag, at least secure some resources. It looks like the items might be traded. Kilson could make it to try and chip away here. Wenger needs to be careful. It's not going to be free. Finally puts up a good enough fight to secure the heavy, but his health is very, very low. He is going to stack back up in the red room. And it's going to look a lot healthier, but still 4x down, coming in like a wrecking ball. The rockets are going to be good. 27 damage. Dropped to 25, 52. The chase with the LG. The flame strike, but the rocket's too strong from Wenger. 5-2 as he puts one on the board.
Absolutely needed that one to get straight back in. He's not running out of time just yet, but the clock is always ticking eternally, and he's been able to pick one back up. He's on the chase. Kilson's defensive rockets looking pretty good. Has to understand the fact there's going to be a heavy taken. There's nothing really Wenger can do about that. Just make sure he establishes and keeps the stack going so he can always fight. One of the drawbacks he's been having so far is, unfortunately, actually, I always believe a bit of a drawback of Keel's that Wenger's been forced into some positions where there's really no escape plan, and there's no way the champion can get away. There are no tools available there. And Kilson has had no issue just really just spraying the LG into it. And you know, Keel's just got to hold that, right? There's been a couple of these frags given up kind of because of that drawback. Wenger has to make sure he establishes control as much as possible. Kilson happy for him to take the heavy just to get a bit of information as to where he's going to escape. Kilson is the one in control of this map thanks to his lead. And it is Wenger ultimately that has to come to him. And these defensive shots, you know, the flame strike, making it a bit more obvious where Wenger might have to try and run. If not, he has to wait it out. That's going to be time wasted. Here he goes now into LG. Wenger trying to just get a bit of entry damage thanks to the grenades. LG's going to look pretty good. Has a whole bunch of armor too. Wenger has to be very careful in how he approaches the Mega. He has been able to run in and quickly snap it up. The light armor, that is one healthy kill. But will it matter? Machine gun from range, doing a bunch of damage to Kilson now, forcing him to retreat just a little bit. How does Wenger head him off? Going in towards potentially Boneyard, looking towards the right as well. Need a little bit of LG ammo to boot. And Kilson. I love the range. He's staying just outside that magic range. Unfortunately, he's giving up a lot of heavy machine gun because of it. Oh my.
Wow, that is a lot of damage. As Kilson hanging on by a thread, 225s in the red room will go to him. And Banger opts for the Mega. Like, thank you for that one. We'll take that. The Flame Strike comes out. Kilson does steal away the heavy. And that's going to help his stack a lot. As Kilson just playing defensive game, just trying to stay alive for another 2.5 minutes.
Has to be very careful about these rockets. This is not a good situation to get stuck in. And now, Kilson able to just re-establish for another time. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Kilson's on the verge of being able to eliminate Wenger and really shutting down the Italian dream that no doubt this whole venue's feeling. He's one hit away from death, Wenger. How can he survive this? He's so close to dying here.
23 HP in the Boneyard, and that's where his bones will rest. 6-2 for the German.
Entry over there. 100 damage on the rocket. That's bad news, Wenger. He's just looking for one opening, but every time there's one, Kilson is just there to just be the gatekeeper, as it were, just say, you're not getting in. No win for you. And he's shutting down more machine gun. Wenger, awkward position, and the clock is just going down even more as we go to 7-2. It's looking kind of bleak for the Italian. Can he pull this one back? This might be a miracle comeback if it's going to happen.
That's a good start, but the rocket for Kilson, the mutual will come out. Minute 30, down by 5. And, do you believe in Italian miracles? Catch up.
I certainly do, but I just feel like Kilson's going to play this 100% anyway at this point. He's going to just try and drag out these frags as much as possible. If he's even able to get one extra himself, it becomes very dangerous because Wenger getting out LG'd, and I fear that the Italian dream is starting to dwindle quite significantly here. We're going into 1 minute warning. 6 frags to take Kilson in such good shape to take this 3-2 last map situation. And it's just coming through, just Wenger, there's not enough mobility there. He can't get around as often as he wants to. The grenades haven't been massively impactful just yet for helping him survive these fights. He's able to survive longer, sure, because of the stack lead, but all it's doing is delaying the inevitable, and he's losing time anyway.
40 seconds. Time ticking. It ticks down. Kilson is getting closer and closer to making it officially to the semifinals here. 68 HP in the red room. He's going to make his escape. With a 6 frag deficit. It's a little heartbreaking. It is. An amazing run by Wenger throughout this tournament.
All the way through. He's been having some world-class gameplay. I know he's going to be gutted for it. He was really looking for the finals or the tournament win in his sights, but Kilson is going to be the one to take this win, defeating Wenger for another time, and he can finally, after many maps indeed, breathe an intense sigh of relief.
It took him a full 5, but the champ showing everybody why he is the reigning champ. Hangs in the pocket, gets it done. Big shouts to Kilson, but look at that. Look at the respect there. The crowd absolutely roaring for their hometown hero, Kid Bellissimo, with a fantastic run through this tournament.
You know the crowd's going to send him off with some love. It's a shame to see him go out now, but when you go up against the world champ and you take him to game 5 like that, anything can happen. I believe we'll be throwing it to the stage soon, have a little bit of a chat with Kilson. I'd love to know how he feels after a sigh of relief like that. And we'll take it away now.
Thank you very much, guys. A fantastic 5-map performance, worthy of the champion, whoever won, but it happens to be the gentleman who had the belt before who will move forward this time. First of all, can we please have a round of applause for both of these guys, because that was fantastic, right? You broke Italian hearts today, but it's also the job of the champion to do what needs to be done. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, he sadly was on my road here to make it to the, to make it further. And yeah, I knew it's going to be a tough match. He played really well. He's still stepping up, each event. There's still potential, I can feel that. And yeah, I mean, he played really, really well. Came down to 5 maps. What else you want,
Mark of a champion going into game number 5, a position you've been in many times before, but tell me what your thoughts were when it was 2-2, you loaded up.
I felt quite comfortable overall because I'm very good in the champion pool I can use. Yeah, I think yeah, that made me kind of go into that, like, there's a chance very, very good here to take this. And yeah, in the end, it worked out. Like, I felt a little more comfortable in the end with the last setup we had there, and just carried me through.
Well, congratulations once again, a 5-map epic. You'll get a little bit of a rest now before you're back on stage next, but of course you're through to the next stage of the competition. 5 maps worth of analysis, ladies and gentlemen, here now. Let's head back to the caster desk, and they can explain how that unfolded.
I think my favorite thing about just the fact that we went to that map 5 was it was just a perfect demonstration of how versed in Quake Champions both of these players were. The amount of game styles they had to adapt, and obviously the champions add that new flair every single time, even down to Keep, where look, we had Death Knight and Keel. How often do you see a matchup like that? Yet they both still played it at the highest level.
Absolutely agree. Kilson showing why he's the champ. Deep map knowledge, deep map pool, and champ pool. Getting it done. And I mean, as he said, I'm just good. Kilson 2019. Put that in the quote books.
But fundamentally, what this means for Kilson is the fact that we have our top 4 decided. It's going to be Cypher and Razy, and then Cooler and Kilson. We're talking about runbacks. We're just about to have yet another runback with Cooler and Kilson going head-to-head. The QuakeCon rematch. Can you make up a path better than this?
No, I think this is going to be fantastic. I think Cooler, very much so, looking forward to that redemption, kind of falling short in QuakeCon. Everyone was very surprised at the performance, at how dominant Kilson was, and I'm sure Cooler's been thinking about this for the past 10 weeks, saying, I want my revenge. But there are the stats from the set. It went all 5, and Railson showed up 52% rail and fantastic control.
You always expect Wenger to bring his A game, and he did that and then some this weekend. You know, couldn't quite clutch it out. I really do feel like a part of that did come down to just Keel not having any impact, and part of that might have just been, I think, this is the pick and ban process, right? That by the end of that point, there's not a lot left in the tank that you can select. You know, Keel does have a place on some of those maps, but really he was just a massive target, and he couldn't really escape when he needed to. Couldn't get in and out when he's stuck in an LG room or getting, you know, sprayed away by heavy machine gun. And he really did the best of a bad situation, I feel. We have got the bracket so we can show you not only the matches that are coming up, but just the crazy journey that we've had. If you have a favorite player and you've just joined us, well, feast your eyes on the insane path they've had to partake. You know, Cypher has been able to take out Hron and Rafa today. You know, Razy just conquering Dahang, Cooler versus Saigib, Kilson in the legendary match against Wenger that we just watched. What an insane tournament we've had, and there's only 3 more series to go.
And they're going to be insane. Real quick, RIP to my NA boys. I got to say that from Machiavelli.
Pull one out.
But we have 4 fantastic duelers left. Cypher making his mark. Can he go even a step further? He's got to get through Razy if he wants to make it to the finals. And then Cooler and Kilson, as we mentioned before, the run back from QuakeCon. It should be insane. Last 2 semifinals. I don't know.
I mean, this has all the makings to be one of the most legendary Quake tournaments, like, dare I say, we've ever had. Like, the talent that's left, the amount of legends that are in attendance, world champions going up against world champions. I mean, I always say this is a champions bracket because it is. Everyone here at some point has won or at least been grand finals in something extremely major. This is the highest level of Quake. It doesn't get any better than this. We're going to go for a break and set up our next stage of the semi-finals here at Lucca, Italy for the Quake Pro League Stage 1 finals. Don't go anywhere because we will definitely be right back.
search a lifetime for true love. If you find it, do you have what it takes to conduct and keep it? Having you was a gift as much as it was a curse. A burden that now has run its course. You are completely busted when you start to the light. Everything I allowed to eat up. Did I always say the right thing's wrong? All questions I had left unanswered. Do good things ever come to those who wait? Or do they just wait forever? Sometimes you need to pause life, bring it out to check if you're on the right train. I guess that's what you did when the fat lady finally sang. The worst part was not to lose true love. The worst part was to lose my best friend. What do you understand? When you have the back control, and you forever been the one that got away. Did I always say the right thing's wrong? All questions I had left unanswered. Do good things ever come to those who wait? Or do they just wait forever?
Your team scores. Hit them hit.
Welcome back to the Quake Pro League Stage 1 Finals here at Luca Comics and Games. We're getting to the meaty end of the bracket now. A fantastic set we've just seen, but we've got another one for you. We're going to be hopping straight in. Let's go ahead and meet our two players. The first absolutely barnstorming run through the bracket and then knocking out the best player in the world. He's back, ladies and gentlemen, Cypher! His opponent, the champion of Luca Comics and Games and the Italian Esports Open previously, looking to come back and do the same again and get his hands on the belt. welcome Razy! It doesn't get any easier from here, but it certainly can be just as, if not more, entertaining. I'm looking forward to how this match unfolds. Casters, take it away.
Thank you very much, Warsaw. Looking forward to this one. We're getting into the semi-finals now for the Quake Pro League Stage 1 finals. We've got 4 top players. It's up to us to describe 2 of them right now as Cypher and Razy are getting ready for the action. Your thoughts, 40?
Let's not forget Cypher was 1 map away from not even being here.
Yeah.
Let alone he took out Tox, he took out Hran, took out Rafa.
Don't say it too quietly. Say it loud and proud. Say it louder. Come on. Loud. And Shane might
He
hear.
earned his spot here in the semis. Going up against Razy, though, former champ of Luca Comics and Games. It's the whole tournament has been an uphill battle, but he's just exceeded all expectations, and he's destroyed everyone in his path. Razy might just be another one.
It is true. You cannot rule it out. Cypher's shape, I think, has been taking everyone by surprise. He's been hitting the most remarkable shots. His game seems to be back on form. It's like we're going back to 2014 and we're seeing this legend status reappear, kind of reaffirming to us why he is a god in the community. So he's certainly here to absolutely look to get further, and how amazing is he going to feel going into the first week of the Stage 2 Quake Pro League, thinking if he's already getting himself the name embedded on the belt.
Absolutely, and yeah, that would be an incredible feat, going from a challenger all the way to champion, but Razy stands in his path. Razy just wants to win again. He wants to repeat. He's like, I've been here before. I've been on this stage. I've done it. They didn't give me a belt for it, but this time they might. So it should be a fantastic game as we could take a look at the pick and bans for the series. Again, best of 5. Semi-final action. We got Blood Covenant, Corrupted Keep, Molten Falls.
Jowi duet. Pysznie robi dzień.
Czy po wyborach ceny prądu wzrosną jeszcze mocniej niż przyznaje to rząd? To zależy na kogo odda.
And from Cypher, you're not going to ban Clutch? Is that almost like a, play Clutch? Like, I'm not worried about it.
The thing is, out of the wide champion pool that we have, Slash is actually quite good against Clutch. You have got the speed, you can keep your distance. If his rail is on point, and his rail has been on point, then it's something Razy's going to have to be really conscious of. Blood Covenant is a very difficult map to play Clutch on.
But if anyone can do it, I believe it could be Razy. We have Ranger versus BJ on Corrupted Keep. BJ so deadly on Corrupted Keep, up close and personal. Dual HMGs, dual super shotguns, absolutely lethal. We got Eisen and Sorlag on Molten Falls, and we got Strog and Peeker and Keel on Blood Run. And finally, if we go to the map 5, DK versus Anarchy on Awoken.
I mean, the business is right there. Can I bring out predictions with you? Tell me your thoughts.
I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way, Zud. The people have been waiting. Actually, they've been timing based on the segment to when you're going to predict stuff. So please, put it on me.
No, I think Razy. Cypher's had an amazing run, and
You think he's going to run out of gas?
I just think that Razy's win over Hang was so convincing that I feel like he's got more to show.
I mean,
that's
I hate to be argumentative, but you don't
coming
think
from.
that Cypher's victory over Rafa was
It was pretty monumental, yes. But I feel like there may have been sort of. I think that Cypher not only just won the game through the playing, he also won in the draft. And I think here the draft is a lot more even. And
I could see that. I don't
see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do, and I don't think that we'll see that kind of hyper-aggression that we saw from Cypher against Rafa. He was relentless, just not letting Rafa breathe off the spawn, constantly attacking, chipping, and I think he's going to have to respect Razy a lot more. We're not going to probably see Slash up and close on a clutch especially, so at least on the first map he's going to have to give him breathing room. He's going to have to play those distance games with rails, HMG, things of that nature. So it's interesting to think about. I think I'm still going to go with Cypher, though. I'm going to, and not just because, not just to be argumentative, but Cypher's on a tear. No disrespect to Razy, both players playing out of their minds, but I think Cypher, he's already come this far. He's already punched his ticket into Quake Pro League. He wants to take home the belt and say, no big deal, I'm the champion, and thanks for welcoming me to the league.
That's the thing. I'm trying to remove my emotions from it all, because if Cypher's able to continue that story, how insane is that? That's the big story. But you've also got a defending champion here who, no disrespect to De Hang, but it looked like he was kind of just breezing past him throughout the games.
You might need an escort in the parking lot.
I'm sorry,
after the
De Hang,
event.
please.
De Hang breaks knees, all right?
Does he work with the mafia boss Saigib? Is that what you're saying?
He might. He might be the accountant for. Yeah, he might be the accountant for him. But regardless, the set is going to be close. I think the game should be close, unless something crazy happens. One of these guys might go on a tear. It's any given Sunday, but
Indeed.
I'm still going to go with Cypher. I'm even going to go 3-1.
Wow.
Sunday.
Okay. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's look at the maps a little bit. We've got Blood Covenant, Slash versus Clutch. I think this might end up being a surprisingly low-scoring game. We've got two very fast champions, but I think there's going to be a lot of respect fending off against one another. What we've seen previously from Cypher and Razy has been a lot of slow games, and we have got a Blood Run in there. If we get to Blood Run, we're going to be at a stopping pace in certain points because the mind games are absolutely going to be going on. Corrupted Keep with a Ranger versus Blaskovitz. I think that narrowly favors Razy, but more about the map more so than the champion picks themselves. Saw like an Eisen on Molten. It can be actually fairly even there for different reasons. Strog and Keel on Blood Run. I slightly favor Strog with Cypher because of the movement, but you have such a stack with Keel and the choke points can be beneficial. Then Death Knight versus Anarchy on Awoken. Statistically, Anarchy's had a little bit of better of a spree in the Quake Pro League, but I can again see that being fairly even, getting down to the sort of the later champion picks. The one thing I do know, though, is Razy's very comfortable with Anarchy. I'm not sure how comfortable Cypher is with Death Knight.
I don't know. For those that don't know, Cypher's name is the Heartbreaker, and he's been breaking hearts all tournament long. I really just think Razy's is going to be another broken heart. I know he's a previous champion here. I think Cypher just is going to be sorry. That's just the way it is.
Oh, he won't be sorry.
Yeah,
it's
he
business.
He won't. He'll be like, I'm not sorry. This is my championship.
Seriously,
sorry.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
And then they've got to stare down whether it's going to be Cooler versus Kelson, the two people who are fighting in the championship match at the end of QuakeCon.
Top 4 is insane.
Yeah, it's totally mental. And it's such a pleasant surprise to be able to see Cypher among those guys. And I think people already be hoping, knowing that we've got all that content coming up in the weeklies, at the next LAN, which will be the Stage 2 finals. It's like, oh my god, how much more are we going to see from Cypher? Because he's not been the heartbreaker of people who's been beating this tournament, the heartbreaker of people in the community who've been wanting to see some of that action, some of that previous level rise again. And the level is returning.
Yeah, and let's not
Cypher
forget,
is back.
Let's rewind a little bit. All 4 incumbents from the Quake Pro League, they're out. All new blood. We got Cypher, we got Dewey, we got Genic, and we got CNZ all saying, we're here, where's our spot? And they all earned it. Cypher's the only one.
Garpy did take 2 maps of Cypher.
He did.
British
he
player.
won't stop bragging about it backstage.
Yeah, seriously, he won't. But he'll be back. He'll be back, okay?
Oh, he will.
Thing is, I don't think he's going to be fighting Cypher
believe.
for relegation. That's the difference.
That's true.
If it comes to that,
that would be very interesting to see.
Yeah, that would be a totally different story. I haven't really given much of a score, but I actually think 3-1 to Razy.
Now you're just copying me.
I think so. No, I said 3-1 Cypher.
Yeah,
I'm
just copying
I'm
me.
mirroring, but with
terrible.
my own imagination.
I would never mirror because I break all my mirrors. I don't know what it is about me, but I think 3-1 Cypher. I think you're absolutely wrong.
I think also the demeanor. There's something about Razy that looks particularly calm. He's usually the type of person who's not really showing emotion on stage. But just the way that he's walking around the venue as well, and throughout the weekend,
around a little bit.
So on Saturday, obviously, he wasn't playing his games because he was guaranteed in the quarterfinals. There's just there's some relaxed, some like Zen state that he's going through that makes me feel that he's just, it's written in stone already.
I mean, he had Rafa do his dirty work, and he doesn't even have to play Rafa.
Yeah.
Like, I'd buy him a beer or something.
No,
maybe
exactly.
a pasta, maybe a slice of pizza.
But that's the thing. Razy's had a better track record against Cypher than against Rafa. So I think deep down, Razy's like, thanks, Rafa. Thanks,
Everything
Cypher.
is coming up Razy.
Yeah, basically the cards are turning all in his favor.
But I don't think we've seen this Cypher before.
That is definitely true. Because when we had last year with PGL and DreamHack, the other events, we had a lot of clashes that favored Razy. But there was a big moment where Cypher managed to finally get that win back over him. And maybe if Brazy seems to think about that for some reason, because I know he thought about the whole losing to Rafa with the 7 seconds left in Quick World Championship 2017.
Brutal.
And he was talking about how he kept thinking about that for a year or so, and it was haunting him. If he allows, I think he's matured a lot as a player since then. If he allows these kind of moments versus Cypher in the past to haunt him, then it could be bad. The same for Cypher, because Cypher's gone through a lot of bad losses against Razy. He's been the cause of him going out of tournaments early on.
I think
there's nightmares everywhere, basically.
Yeah, everything is a nightmare, especially to both of us. But I think going into this, both players are just focusing on the now. If anything, they're looking at the previous tournament and be like, look at everybody that I've defeated. They're going in confident. And I think, again, as with all these series, the first map, the momentum is going to mean everything. So going into Blood Covenant Slash versus Clutch is going to be huge. If Razy can establish dominance, if he could shut down Slash, 1 or 2 good traps, and then you're playing against the stacked Clutch who may be on the run, I mean, that's difficult to come back to.
That's it. If Clutch is out of control, he's trying to play off the map entirely until he can at least get himself 100 health and his full natural arm 125. If Slash is out of control and Clutch is in control, I think that becomes a lot harder to deal with, because you can kind of match that speed, and as long as the shield is available for Razy, that could be very dangerous. A lot of this for Cypher hinges on him being very effective long range with the heavy machine gun and with the railgun, and doing as much damage before inevitably Razy will close in on him at some point, be it for, you know, for a frag or for a death at that stage. And the funny thing is too, is that if you put aside the different champions, I actually think at core, these guys don't have totally different play styles. They have got this crazy aggression where they will jump back at you at times when you're not anticipating it.
The 3rd, 4th, 5th peak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not even one more shot-itis anymore. We're way past that with some of these, but yeah.
I think Razy defends leads differently to Cypher, but they also play out of control not entirely differently. Cypher's always been known for how he can just be off of map completely, not get noticed, and avoid getting fragged when his opponent's got insane control around the map. And Razy's not terrible at doing that. He's a bit of an escape artist at the same time.
One thing that I'm looking forward to is kind of the vial control, especially with Clutch. He's always going to burn that shield.
Really
he needs
important.
the vials. Slash, not so much. It's kind of a more of a situational ability, so you don't have like a Nyx or a Visor where you're constantly using it and then regaining those shards to not only get your ability back, but deny it from your opponent. So I wonder how Cypher's kind of going to deal with that, because Slash Trail is a little bit good for escape. You can kind of use it to pivot between items as well for speed. But again, I think Razy's going to be using that shield a lot more than he's going to be using the trail.
Well, I think that maybe he'll have to use the trail more
To
just to deny those vials.
Yeah.
So even if there's no actual strategic purpose for it, the only strategy is actually getting the vials, because you can't take them unless you actually have a cooldown.
But will he pop that? Will he think that far in advance, or will he just be like, oh, I use the trail defensively, I'm gone?
Well, guys, we are just waiting for the match to set up. We're just sorting something out quickly. We're going to go on a very quick break, and when we get back, the semifinals will get going. See you in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you very much for your patience. We are going to be moving in just a moment to this semi-final between Cypher and Razy. We're going to be deciding who is going to be the first finalist here at the Quake Pro League Stage 1 Finals at Luca Comics and Games. And the players are getting ready, 40. Are you getting ready?
I'm getting ready. I hope everyone at home is getting ready. Everyone in the crowd in the cathedral is getting ready. Cypher versus Razy, who's going to be the one to advance and get the opportunity to try and fight for that title belt. They're going to have 2 matches in their path. Cypher looking so unbelievably strong in this tournament again, qualifying at the very beginning and making his way through Toxic, Kron, and Rafa. Razy dismantling Dehang, Avik, and Genic. Here we go. Right off the bat, Razy getting destroyed with that rocket. Here comes the shield already. Unbelievable.
That's a little flick.
Explosive start.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. I think Cypher was going in there a little bit confident, but you've got to be so careful when that shield is available. Razy starts with quite a good amount of stacks for Cypher. Okay, it's early on. Push that out of the way. You've got plenty more opportunities to build this up. Oh, the shield is back up again. The rocket's been very good. 9 health left. Oh, the rail is landing anyway. What is Razy doing with his aim?
Look at that smirk. He's like, yeah, I did that. I did that. 9 HP and I did that.
He doesn't usually do that. That's phenomenal from him. LG again, still taking him down 3-0 in the first minute.
Remember when I said 3-1? This might be the one. Clutch versus Slash is uphill battle. 3-0 early on here for Razy, looking very strong, very confident. Slow things down, try and play the chip game. You can't go toe-to-toe with Clutch, especially with that shield up. He did do an incredible amount of damage. Razy just said, yeah, 9 HP, and here's a rail.
Cypher just wants to get some armor. Finally managed to find something down low. Banana. There is an armor killer as well. Is holding that position there. Cypher's zipped off. He's managed to get himself the rail, and he has to use that plasma rail. That long range damage should be favouring Cypher, but we've got the shields up. One of the rockets. It's a little bit of chip damage. I don't think Razy's going to be confident to go in any further, and that is going to allow Cypher to get himself a heavy armor. So getting onto the major icons, we could be getting something quite big from Cypher, especially because the shield is now down for Razy.
Hits some of the vials, but he still has to wait 18 seconds. That shield is really helpful as Clutch. Or the LJ from Melty. There's the jump over there. Just missing Razy. Cypher with a reply that also misses, but he's right there at the rail. Razy with a fantastic rail. Cypher replies. There's a good drop. He also pushing Razy all the way down. Very bad if Razy landed on the same level as he does have the shield back up. He's trying to fight for this heavy. He is going to steal it. Whoa. There's the shield pop defensively. He's going to get away. Cypher doing good damage, trying to cut off at the LG. 20 HP. Can he finish the frag? Cypher doing a good job of getting in the way, doing as much damage as he can, not allowing this path to Mega.
Yeah, there was a late shield usage from Razy. Maybe he could have preserved the time with their health and armor, but he's so close. He's going to be at these angles. Cypher sits by. 10 health left for Razy. He is going to be on the run. Lightning gun though. There's got to be a frag for Cypher. He is on the board.
I think that was a bit of a misplay there with that jump. He did not want to land down there. Cypher capitalizes, puts up his first frag of the game. He's also managing those vials pretty well, keeping that trail as low as possible. He's going to go up. What an air rocket into LG. A good defensive rail from Razy. He's going to land on top, and that's going to be a free Mega. He can drop down onto this as he does. Belts him with the LG, and that is unfortunate for Cypher. That initial rocket was beautiful.
That was absolutely wild. But you've got to get those follow-ups. Sometimes the follow-up on a Clutch, you've just got to deal inane amounts of damage with that stack, with that shield. Cypher down to 100 health. He should be able to find some light armors in a moment, but there's a chase going on. No shield available for Razy, so you have to be a little careful, but those hourglasses are coming in, and he should be back to good in no time at all.
On time for that Mega. The chip, previously done by Cypher, doesn't really mean anything after the pick up there. Some hourglasses drops down to 50. Razy on the hunt. Hears it. He's going to read that perfectly. Almost drops down. The snail trail is there. Again, cuts him off. No major items to use Cypher. Did use the shield though, so now Cypher has to try and get some chip damage and make his move while he can. The stack is so low.
Yeah, it's been really difficult for Cypher. He's had very loose control of the map. Maybe only a couple of rotations have really gone his way. And secure the kill, but needs a few more. Plenty of time though to get that done. Cypher at rail, lands the shot. Going to be dropping down. That plasma shot can prevent Razy from chasing us all. They drive in 5 seconds, but there is a shield available. Now using it pretty late, but chases down with the lightning gun, and Cypher cannot get away. Ends up butting heads, and it's going to be the cause of his death.
Just beautiful movement off that jump pad with this clutch. 5-1, closer to the halfway point here. Cypher in trouble. And we can't help but clutch through in the pick band.
I do agree. I'm not really sure whether he thinks that because there's been lots of different iterations and changes that he thinks that this is a map where it will be fine for him. There's a whole host of different thought processes, but let's see.
Watch LG there right before the Mega. So unfortunate, and it might be a little bit like that meme, like this is fine because everything is on fire around him. Sending the 8 to 5. It's fine. This is fine.
I think the Cypher, he always needs to play a little bit more defensively. He's being very fast around the map, I think maybe just to stop for a moment, but not run into Razy, hopefully. It's obviously a lot easier said than done. Cypher's low, there might be a bit of a chase here. Shotgun's gonna work, catches him through the air, 7-1. Off the spawn, there's a rail. You can go and pick up some more health while I can get myself some major items, some light items, and work my way towards the heavy armor.
Just going to the shops, picking up a few things. 6 frag lead here. Right on time, Cypher will be found. It needs to work on one stack and roll the test. But with 4 minutes left, he's going to have to start. 6 frags. Back from, especially in a map like this, especially against a clutch with a shield and a stack this big. Look at that rail right across. That rocket's going to be decent. He's going to drop down with the shield. The LG from Cypher is incredible, but the trade comes out from Razy. The last second rocket takes Cypher out.
It's a good spawn though for Cypher. He's got the lightning gun, got rocket. There's going to be no shield available for Razy, so he's kind of throwing his life away a little bit. Cypher, huge chance to get another kill. Razy falls. 3.5 minutes now. Heavy has spawned. Can he build some momentum? Still 20 seconds for the shield to be up. Razy with a rocket, returning fire, has about 10 points of health. But no rail for Cypher. Means he can't finish that.
That beat of LG. Cypher getting hit with the rail, that's going to knock him down. He's going to grab a 50 shard and some vials. He's going to float Razy on over to the Mega. A bit of assistance there from down under. Another great rail from Razy. Just constantly damage up. Careful, Cypher's gonna get caught out here. There's the shield. He does have the snail trail if he wants, and the mining drill will take out Cypher. The built-in LG.
Yeah, exactly. Rare, you see kills happening from that weapon. Look at that rail turn. 5 rail bullets, rail shots left. But doesn't matter. It's not gonna hit it again. We have the mega health up. There will be a jump across. It's going to be a little bit late on it. Hits a rocket and the rail follow-up. 11 health to go for Razy. He can maybe simmer this down for a second. Probably have to forfeit control of the heavy armor. But it depends on where Cypher's gone off to. Maybe he's going to assume Razy's just taking it. It's a little bit late. LG's not bad, but not enough stack for the clutch.
Most important is he did force the shield out, but with that spawn, Cypher needs to fight for this mega. Be careful here, there's a little bit of machine gun damage, we get out a little bit more. A lock in the heavy machine gun, Mega will be taken. Razy willing to take this fight. Down, killer area. Rockets, wow, that was a donk right there, that's exactly what we're still 6 frags down though. Time is ticking, less than 2 minutes. Cypher does have slash, very mobile around that. Shield is back up for Razy. He's going to be able to pop that defensively, and now he's just playing the cruise control game. Plays keep away from Cypher.
LG not bad. Shield was used recently, so I really think it's time to push the advantage no matter what. Even if it's at the off angles where you're dropping down, you should still be able to hit a comparable amount of lightning gun in retaliation. That plasma trail, and you find Razy at all. Here, Razy's just burning so much of the clock away. And he's going to have that shield up right about now. Cypher, sure, is stacked. Okay, that rocket. This should be a kill now for Cypher.
5 left in under a minute. leaves you. Can he catch him out? Razy's so smart. Don't ever go down to LG off that spawn. Instead, he's going to go up the stairs. Might get caught out at the nail gun here. Trying to fight for his life. Cypher needs this frag. There's the rail, and he will miss out.
I mean, there was a chance if we can chain them together, but as soon as the shield comes up again, it's a world of trouble. He did have that moment when he got the kill, the shield was used, he needed to try and continue something, but at this stage, Razy can do his victory lap. And probably stare himself on the scoreboard being a map up.
LG, insult to injury Cypher. I think he knows this one is in the books. It's going to be 11-5 for Razy. A very strong start here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one way to start with it. He had a storming first minute. He was able to carry it through. Cypher did get a bit of control here and there. But overall, I think it was the aim that's working from Razy straight away, hitting those snap rails and looking incredibly prepared for this game. Also, can see those starters there, and if this rail, oh, that was just fantastic. And with that amount of health left, it's absolutely brutal to fall victim to it. So Razy was actually making some pushes that were very surprising, considering he wouldn't use his shield till quite late. He might not even have it available necessary, but he was still happy to challenge in some engagements which you normally wouldn't favor a clutch in. He just has an aura of confidence around him at the moment. And I think
much LG right here, yeah.
I think a brutal thing is that Blood Covenant being a great Cypher map, now moving over to Corrupted Keep. I didn't even say Razy's Keep. This is a difficult start to the series for Cypher. Now this map has taken place.
And even that, the trade comes out. Man, that was so clutch from Razy, that last second rocket there.
And here with the mining drill too. You don't see that too often, but it's been done. Razy now can push his clutch out the way. We will move to Ranger for Cypher, and we'll move over to Blazkowicz for Razy. Again, I think this is somewhat even. You've got burst DPS that can happen for both players. Razy's...
Yeah, Razy's Keep.
Razy's Keep, sorry, I thought you said Razy's Kill. I was like...
No, Razy's Keep. I wonder why he looked at me so long ago.
Yeah, Razy's
61% rail as we take a look at the stats from that map.
Versus Slash as well, man.
As a clutch, too.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, everyone calls it the Honda Civic. I guess